Damn right it's live, pal. Welcome back in for the latest edition of Hot Tag Wrestle Corner. Right here, coming at you live from our Palatial Studios downtown Cleveland, Ohio.
Birdhouse Entertainment Studios.
Birdhouse Entertainment Studios, that's damn right. I'm one half your host, I'm Rob.
I'm Clint.
With a very eventful week in pro wrestling this week and many stories to get to, which is a good time to get to them because we had a shorter show last week where we skipped news. We ain't skipping this week. We got a lot going on. So, with that being said, let's start getting into some of these. You know how the show goes. We're doing doing news, reviews, and commentary. Starting with the news, then reviewing everything that happened on television this week in the WWE, AEW, and also gonna give you a recap of what happened last week with the final of the G1. A little bit of a spoiler alert. It's a repeat. I'll just leave it at that.
It's a repeat.
It's a repeat. Let's leave it at that. But go ahead, brother. What you got starting us out with?
All right. So start a couple bit of news. First one starting with Jacqueline. We all remember Jacqueline. Said she'd like to have one more match against either Charlotte Flair or Bianca Belair. How old is Jack?
Yeah. Probably in her 50s. I bet she looks like she's in her 30s.
I'm looking at this picture in the Hall of Fame. I have to disagree with you.
Older? She looks older?
She looks older.
Oh,
not like in her age, but like older than 30 though.
Okay, so the silicone ain't do her well.
So she was on Captain's Corner, and she was actually like to compete in one more match with her.
Wait. What the hell is Captain's Corner?
It was a virtual signing with Captain's Corner.
Okay.
And she was at virtual signing. I didn't even worry about it. Because virtual. You know what? Never mind. So she was asked the question about she could compete in one more match, and if there any specific opponent she would like it to be against. She said she'd love to have one more match. She said there's one more. She said that's all I need. She said Charlotte, she's a badass. I like the way she wrestles. She said Bianca Belair is another opponent she faced. Bianca's two, one more, and I'm good. Of course, we all remember she competed last in the 2018 Royal Rumble. So, get all the short news stories out the way before I get to the good one. So, formerly known as lineup of CJ Perry, she the one that actually pitched going through the table multiple times in WWE. Hey, so she said she wanted to do the spot for a while, but Miro didn't like it. And she said that if he'd been in the company at the time, that running gag of her going through all them tables wouldn't have happened.
Is that the story when she was talking about what happened backstage when she was crying about not being able to wrestle, so everybody kept coming up to her and telling her, like, you're winning the match. Like, what are you complaining about?
I don't know. She said no.
Because I saw a story recently where she was talking about that specific thing, about how they had that whole angle and it was supposed to culminate and it didn't. And she was mad because Vince told her, like, they kept trying to get her to wrestle in the match. Vince was like, yeah, I've been working towards it. Or she was telling Vince, like, yeah, I've been working towards it. And he was like, no. All she does is stand there. That's it. And she wins the match that way. And she was crying about it, but they kept trying to console her, like, well, you're winning the match. Like, what are you crying about?
I mean, I like the fact that she wanted to wrestle though, but that's not that actually don't have nothing to do with it though.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. She said, no, I actually begged for it. She said, I'm not even kidding. I wanted to go to a table for a long time. Amir was like, absolutely not. Do you want to die? Damn, okay, that's wow, like I want to go to the table. Do you want to die? Like, oh. Should have said, how you think Charlotte Flair and tables? Yeah, them things don't tend to break all the time. And Charlotte's
she has a losing record against tables.
Charlotte's heavier than you. I'm trying to weight shame nobody, but she is. I pitched so many times for me to go to a table. This was during the Bobby Lashley storyline. They said when he was with Liv and she was with Bobby, I pitched you go to super kick Bobby, he moves out the way, and you super kick me in the face. We can have a table, I can go to a table. Said Vince and Miro both shut it down. She said, I don't think the table thing would have happened to Mel was there because he was so protective of me. Even in the ladder match, he was freaking out. Anytime I had a match, he was freaking out. He don't want anyone to get hurt, but especially his wife. I'm real thankful that I got that opportunity because I don't know what would have happened in the exact manner if he was there. Vince thought it was funny. I would get so excited going to a table. It was my dream. I wanted to go to a table. He was like, what's wrong with you? Like, okay, when I think of wrestling, I think of craziness. I didn't have to sell matches, the cage matches, so the opportunity I got was taking a bump on the ladder and going to a table. I wanted to do very badly, so I am thankful. DDP revealed that he turned down offer to be a part of Ric Flair's last match. Ric Flair wanted him to be in his final match. DDP said no. He said they turned it down because he was having his final match a few years ago in AEW. Ric Flair called me and asked me would I be in the match and be in the match with him and do a 6-man. He's like, how old are you? At first he said, how old are you? He said, I said 66. He said, I seen you're in great shape. I really would love to have you in this match. He said, Rick, I can't do it. I feel good. I can't take the chance of hurting myself. He said, I feel great. You're not from this planet. That's when he talked to me into doing the roast of Ric Flair that they had.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet.
Velveteen Dream.
Yes, I had this story. I'm gonna go and delete it.
Talk about his WWE return. Y'all know that real name Patrick Clark. You've been on Velveteen Dream. Seen the post about
AKA Groomer, as the rumor goes.
Seen to post about a possible return. He changed his bio on Instagram, which includes the hashtag. It reads, "Don't dream it, be it." Hashtag bring back Velveteen Dream. His first post was this was his first post he made over a year, which read, I know there is a heaven, I know there is a hell. Listen to me, people, I got a story to tell. Okay. Of course, we all know we did this whole story on Velveteen Dream, last year with the messages to the, like 14, I want to say. I think.
The young kids.
Young kid, yeah. So more news into that. We got some more news I gotta pull over. This one. New Japan announced that Wrestle Kingdom 17 will be one night next year.
Yep.
Won't be 2. New Year Dash 2 return also.
Since you brought it up, in the G1 final, just talk about it now. So I know I'll eventually forget about it once we're talking about the shows. In the final, once again, it was Will Ospreay versus Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada, and tell me, you can take it wild, guess who won?
I hope Rainmaker will probably.
Okada again. Will be in the main event on the final show. The first show of the year, I should say, for Wrestle Kingdom, whose opponent will be not yet determined. I believe Jay White has the belt over there right now, so it could be him versus Jay White again. But we've seen that, and they usually do one-on-one matches in their main event. They never do like 3-ways.
Yeah.
So something's gonna shake soon enough. We'll put it that way. Could be. I wouldn't mind seeing Ospreay again in a rematch of the G1 final, but like I said, Jay White has the belt, so.
Yeah.
But he also has a title defense coming up against Tama Tonga because Tama Tonga beat him clean as fuck in a match during the G1. So they got a title. He has a title shot coming up soon. Doubt to change hands, but stranger things have happened, so we'll see.
It might. Yeah, they said it's gonna be a one night. It's been to 2 nights in 2020 and then 3 nights this year. New Year Dash will return after it was skipped last year. So Wrestle Kingdom 17 happens January 4th, 2023. The Tokyo Dome and New Year Dash happens the year after. Day after. Year after. That'd be one way you had to hype up a pay-per-view. Nick Aldis. This is a nice story. So, we talk about promotions. We get some of the small promotion press. Something nice happened. He took a pay cut to help NAW during the pandemic.
NWA?
Yeah. So, he resigned with him in 2021. They picked up the option year and it didn't extend his deal to 2022. This also they had a lot of roster turnover due to the pandemic, like people like Kylie Ray coming back, a lot of star deals expired. They were initial pay cuts for talent at the time. Billy Corgan also know that Aldis did not want to be a part of creative. He just want to wrestle. And he also, AEW made him an offer in 2019, but he turned it down. All right. Toxic Attract. There's news on Toxic. Damn, we ain't do news last week, so I got the news search last week too. Go, you get a couple out the way though. Basic news on Toxic Attraction. So we all know Gigi Dolan got hurt during the match on SmackDown, which the concussion was serious because they said that she didn't she forgot during the match what she's supposed to do, so Natalya had to do a lot of the lifting of that match, which sucks because they were actually due for a main roster call up, just her and JC James, just them two. So they were due for a call up, but that got derailed because of the fact, unfortunately, she got the concussion. So another call up, Solo Sikoa from NXT, he's supposed to be getting called back up too. Ric Flair on his relationship with Triple H. Apparently they had a fallout over the man trademark issue. I didn't know this. He said he would be surprised if he wasn't in the top 5 people. He said he wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't in the top 5 people that reached out to Stephanie when he got sick. He said as soon as he became aware of it, he called her and called him. He's the first person he called when Reed died. Of course, Reed is his son. He said, so people can make whatever they want in our relationship, but not everybody has their ups and downs. We have arguments and disagreements, but I guarantee you this. I will be at his funeral, and I guarantee you this, he will be at mine. Everyone can say whatever they want or make whatever they want about it. He said he gave a credit for Vince for bringing him on in 2001 because he was found as dead ass because of Russo and Bischoff. He said Hunter got there and pushed him. He had huge self-confidence issues, and Triple H wouldn't let him rest on his old laurels. Kept pushing him and pushing him. Remind him of everything, what he did in the business. You're Ric fucking Flair. Flair, and he said anybody that trying to pick that part, he said you can go fuck yourself. He also said when Reed died, he took his Hall of Fame ring from 2008 and put in his finger in the casket. He said Ashley. He actually used his daughter's actual he said he guessed Ashley told Hunter that because when he went to NXT to see her, he put him aside and gave him another Hall of Fame ring with Richard Reed Flair on the side of it. So he said I can't be mad or upset with someone who done all that for me, no matter what people like to think. Who else knows experience? Who had no kind of experience in life? Plus, he was in one of my weddings. He was actually at the best man at one of my weddings. I don't know if he's talking about the same wedding. Wedding.
I'm assuming the last one though.
I'm thinking so. And he said he said he was the best man at his wedding.
And then at that, honestly, they said that wasn't even actually a marriage. It was just like a commitment ceremony. I guess. Does that mean he doesn't pay her alimony?
I'm gonna do one news story. I'm probably gonna let to a couple of yours.
All right.
I still got this. I got 4 more, but I'm gonna get to a couple of yours. So, Big E was the latest guest star on Ryan Saint's Out of Character podcast, where he discussed a wide variety of topics, including where the New Day members were revealed and voiceover work, and he's also interested in acting. So. Stairway he can take into if he can't fully come back from, unfortunately, that neck injury. He said, I love doing voiceovers. I really enjoy doing VO and have some cool things that I can't really divulge yet, but hopefully the next few months. I love doing voice work. I still want to do more of that. I started wrestling because I love the athletic side of it, and I felt like I had more to offer athletically. As I got older and started progressing with the New Day started to take off, I realized that I love performing, I love entertaining, I love making people laugh, I love bringing life into the character. Stuff I really enjoy. Now I gravitated more towards storytelling and doing that in different mediums. That's what I love to do. Also, one cool thing is with breaking my neck, which is odd to say, I've been more involved in our short film, Our Heroes Rock, getting to work with my partners on that. Getting to produce has been fun. Not till a couple years ago, I found that I would be interested in producing. That's something I really enjoy. I have the best partner. The only reason this project is going to be any good because I have partners like Jonathan Davenport and Andreas Hale, I'm really excited to be making something that feels good and meaningful. That's the stuff I love. He also said he got into acting as well, promotes his role on Nickelodeon. He said he got a show called Side Hustle on Nickelodeon. It came out earlier this year. Just one episode, but it's his first time actually doing something. Okay, don't say you promote your role on Nickelodeon and then say I got a show and I only did one episode.
Well, you gotta get it out here so
I get
it
what
can
he's
grow.
saying. I get what he's saying, but like, actually might be successful too because I mean, Nickelodeon just kind of fell off in the last couple years.
Yeah, that's because they got pedophiles putting their shows out here.
Oh, he don't work for Nickelodeon. No
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that
I know,
helped
yeah.
bring them down.
I know you talking about. He produced some of my favorite shows during the time.
Yeah. And he ain't the only one. He was one. The cat that did Ren and Stimpy was another one. But that's here nor there.
He says first time is acting as someone who wasn't Big E. He does the Big E cameos on TV, but it's the first time he was playing the character where he wasn't Big E. He won. All right.
You good, man. It's just, I don't know why the laptop's not responding, but you're fine. Go ahead. Hopefully it'll come through in a second.
He said he thought that like an actor degree was a dry run. He said he enjoyed the process. He enjoyed working on a character. Do he say he want to be an actor and go to Hollywood? He said he does. He said he feel like he ain't horrible at it. He said, I don't think I'm going to win any Oscars. I won't say that, but I'll be more open to more fun doing that. All right. You want to hear a funny story?
What's up?
About Jake the Snake Roberts. So do you remember that Vince McMahon Stand Back music video?
Yep.
Jake the Snake said they didn't get paid for that. The way he described it was so funny. He described the experience. He said, I want to slash my wrist. That's the first thing he said, literally. He said, number one, I can't dance. I don't claim to be a dancer. I like to watch dancers, but I won't be a dancer. Musical instrument, I can't carry a tune in a bucket, much less play a trumpet. The fact that he's like rhyming this as he's saying it, He said, the whole shenanigan was probably the worst time I had in WWE. I mean, all them times, was that even worse than when Warrior cost me your title run? Title run? I guess. He said, or any other organization, because we asked to come to Atlantic City for 3 days with our wives or husbands. Stay in the hotel, come to all this stuff, rehearse and do all this. Then we go to the show and have to listen to Vince say, stand back, which we all know was a shoot from the word go, and we got paid nothing. This the best part I liked about what Jake the Snake said. He said they were so kind to take care of our hotel room. But that trip cost me like $6,000 because they had gambling, they had alcohol, we had way too much time on our hands. It was a horrible thing to have to go through. It sucked getting to the outfits that we had to wear. I mean, the whole thing. He said Beefcake is doing this thing, Hogan is doing the guitar, and now I'm like, oh, give me a break. Vince was so goddamn confident to stand out there and built that out, and he built it out. Like, thank God we moved forward and things have changed. Let me get this straight. So you mean to tell me he only paid? It's Vince a cheap son of a bitch, but still he only paid for their hotel rooms though. That's like man lost $6,000. Man, it's in Vegas, man. You know got all the alcohol and gambling and all the drugs and shit they can do. I don't know if you have this story, but news on Thunder Rosa. So she was forced out, of course, of AEW All Out due to injury, but spoiler alert, even though she got a championship, she was going to lose the championship anyway, they already had it planned. Apparently she got more heat in the locker room. Again, this goes back to the fact of her working stiff. She had legit issues with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. Of course, this stemmed from was it Battle of the Belts when Thunder Rosa and Jamie Hayter fought for the title and she broke Hayter's nose?
Yeah.
Okay. So a report here said that people still think she worked too stiff. Dixo Span also confirmed a report from Joe Lanza that Rosa hid in the bathroom after breaking Hayter's nose after Battle of the Belts.
Yeah, that was one of my stories.
A separate source indicate that hiding in the bathroom was likely a stretch, but they said it was some truth which may have caused two stories to get combined. Rosa was nowhere to be found after the match. She said she sprinted from the ring once the match was over. However, that same source said Rosa was found and told about the injury. Then she tried to apologize. She laid that she locked herself in the bathroom, which led to the hiding rumor in the addition that she sandbagged Shafir during the Dynamite match in June. He said he spoke to 8 different sources and tried to figure out what's going on with Rosa and her reputation backstage. He said the one thing they're split on is that whether her actions have been intentional or not. One opponent claimed that she was badly trained and never improved her fundamentals. Some thought that maybe some of the incidents were not accidents. We also know that Rosa makes a mistake and then the match suffers. So basically, these sources basically shitting on Thunder Rosa in a way which makes your opponent look bad. They feel that Rosa was reluctant to take bumps and offers from opponents. Another source who worked with Thunder Rosa and Lucha Underground disagreed about her training and said that they add that nobody can say she lacked fundamentals. She has a reputation for hurting people with her strikes. We went back to ROH in 2019 when 2 different women mentioned how her low drop kick to a seated opponent, saying that they face got broken between her laying shot. Somebody said Rosa will beat the fuck out of people. Another opponent said that defended the move and said that it was just stiff. She'll take a hard strike, but they addressed the issue and move on. She described her offense as snug, but not reckless or too much. If it did get bad, she will apologize and it'll be over. He also said Rosa's reputation of attitude towards non-contract workers. No, she had that. My fault. She had the reputation of an attitude towards non-contract workers doing extra work on AW Dark shows. They said that Rosa berated her and accused her of being poorly trained. A wrestler under contract remember Rosa yelling extra loud enough to hear it down the hall.
How many more stories you got?
Pull up on my bookmark. Hold on. I have 3 more.
Read them all. I need a second. I gotta pull them on my phone now because my computer just shit on me.
Okay, you good, bro. I got you. She noted that Rosa yelled down the hall, yelled at the extra for forgetting their spot when Rosa literally had a history of doing the same thing. She also said Rosa comes off as aloof. But she tried to be more positive, such as giving inspiration. She talked down to veterans where she said she could help them. God damn. Is Thunder Rosa like that? What's that? They also said no that 2 other extras that spoke were positive about Rosa. One thing that she's been nice to her, sitting down with her friends talking about the business, and sprouted interaction that nothing that's positive. So it seems like that they're split about Thunder Rosa. I mean, I know you're a Thunder Rosa fan, so what's your thoughts on it? If you don't mind me asking, if you ain't like.
I mean, I don't have a thought on it. This is not something that you can have a thought on. There's fact and there's opinion. If she's been rough in the ring, then that's people's opinion of her. I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, I think she's right like that. What I think about it has nothing to do with it.
Like, you watch her matches more than
yeah.
Like, do you seem like that, like...
I never...
Like, we're like, pay, like, what's her name? So, like, yeah. I get it. Like, the thing, like, I think we did a story, like, when was the Diamante, I think, where, like, they had, like, a legit, like, fight, like, in the middle of their match. I mean...
Yeah, I remember that. Maybe she was right. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like it's split, but the one thing I think a lot of people do have in common that she do work kind of stiff. Here we go. Back on Ric Flair. The Ric Flair promo that really got Vince McMahon upset. I know you're a Ric Flair guy, so you'll probably remember this promo. It said it was an incident at Madison Square Garden, where Ric Flair went off script. Vince got a little heated about. And what he said, damn it, from here on out, he need to know what everything. This is the promo that made Vince basically say, I need to know what every talent is going to say before they go out there. So I guess there was a lot of corporate sponsors, and he said something about he had made virgins bleed. And there was they said there's a notable shift in approval process going forward. So people, if you're mad about scripted promos, blame Ric Flair for saying he made virgins bleed. That's what caused this to happen.
Wow.
I love Ric Flair. I can say like, woo, woo, just booing, like he just throw that in there like nonchalantly. Talk to some man in the audience. So Vince had been oh man. Okay, so yeah, let's have that Madison Square Garden got Vince heated. He said that there's a notable shift in the amount of approval process going forward. While he was head of creative, and this talking about our man Brian Gewirtz, I think, from he was mentioning a lot of my stories.
Brian Gewirtz, head
Couple
writer for
last
WWE, yeah. Former head writer.
He got a book coming out, so he basically spilling all the details.
All the tea, huh?
He said Vince will make sure that most promos were scripted, and as he wanted promos delivered in a certain way for certain verbiage. This was true in the second 20 years of his 40 years running the company. Vince had been known to ban words and phrases that he think do not fit WWE. We all know that list, such as wrestling, wrestler, strap, belt, blood, even hospital one time was on there. He was added and one was added to the early list in 2022 pay-per-view. This was due to the fact that WWE began calling their big show premium live event. He also said that Vince's retirement came. Of course, we all know his retirement from allegations came. Triple H. Oh God, Triple H was in the ring when this promo happened. He said Triple H was in the ring. This had to be back when it was in Evolution. 2004. It had to. So he said he was in the ring about the promo about making virgins bleed. Now of course, we all know he's taking over the road. He has made changes, of course. He brought back a bunch of people, but they also said that he basically, a lot of stuff he did, like you get your Twitch platforms back since he's been there. He's not approving like script super heavy like Vince is, like Vince like so another thing I think they're saying that Triple H was doing. Back to him again. He addressed the report that Vince McMahon will rip up scripts the day of the show. He said this has been exaggerated. He said Vince don't do that. He said it said that he takes that with a grain of salt. He never witnessed it happen. No script has ever been ripped in his presence. He said he remember in 2012, he did take a part-time job. The process was far less dramatic. He said when it came to SmackDown on Friday and Raw on Monday, some version of the script, one that remained intact, was done before he showed up to the arena. He also said that it's important to finalize the script before the show goes so that the staff have plenty of time with the time to work and get ready. He also said that the environment has improved, shows have been looser. Renee, I'll jump back her last name. Oral Sessions. What is her last name?
Paquette.
Thank you. She also said that
Took me a minute too. I was about to say Moxley.
That's what I was thinking too. Like I'm like, it's not Moxley. Like, she said that she knows that talent has been looser too. She said the big star of all this, she said, has been Michael Cole. She believed because like Vince is not like in his ear all the time. He could be more like free, but like I also think Pat McAfee has a little bit to do with that too. Because Pat McAfee just like. Yeah, I'm gonna say what I want to say, but it's the same guy that gave Jim Cornette a shout out in a couple SmackDown a couple weeks ago. Let's see.
I'm good now whenever you are. If you want to take over.
Okay, good. This is my last story. So Roddy Piper shot at bullshit on a segment with Stone Cold Steve Austin during 2021. Think this was a minor issue, right? No, it wasn't, because Vince was super furious. He gave Piper certain instructions not to do so, not to cuss. He's doing so he felt that could set WWE reputation back for some years. Vince rose from his chair, ripped his headset off, slammed it down before dropping a series of F-bombs himself. He said WWE moved beyond the raunchy comedy criticized. And with Roddy yelling bullshit in the middle of the ring on the biggest show of the year. He also said that he got some wacky reveals from his book. He talked about work for Vince McMahon. He said if with Vince, you need to learn how to eat a shit sandwich and like the taste of it. He actually said that to people. You were always on call, no sleep, no sick days. He had employees that wore dungarees. He said Vince was like working 4 years of an indie boss. You think you're in his good graces, then one ill-timed reaction to facial expression off-hand relationship remark could turn your relationship into a tailspin. And they said this happened with him when he wrote some jokes for Miz to fire about the Miami Heat stars, LeBron James and the Wade. He chewed Brian Dow for suggesting that Miz called James Dwayne Wade's sidekick. He got super mad about it. I don't know why, because like I think you have a lot of people there in Miami. I think most of the people probably say that because he left to join him. Wrestlers Court. He talked about towns would usually clear to everyone, not over beer and pizza. So I mean, The Rock insisted on writing his own lines. Line. He said one thing that The Rock didn't mess with was the dialogue, where he took jabs at fellow wrestlers. He said that he was always considered one of the best on the mic, so he held himself to an extremely high standard. So he said he saw his advice in 2020 when he had some stuff to write on Triple H. And he said that he went as far to even imitate Triple H's voice, and The Rock would find it hilarious in his promos. So I'm scrolling through. That's basically it. I really don't care about the XFL. I'm done with that.
Did you talk about Vince McMahon and his unreported $5 million payments to Trump last week?
Yeah.
We did?
Oh,
Okay.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
Bob Barker. He partied and did karate with the writers. What y'all know
I
Bob
thought you didn't
Barker?
say cocaine, but all right.
Damn. So this was 2009 when he was promoting a memoir and his animal rights charity. He felt the charity was being slighted in the script, so he summoned George, who was drinking in the White Sox game at the time, and fellow writer Dave Kapoor in his hotel suite. He came on and greeted him in silk robes and pajamas. A ticket for graphic and the charity is only going to be showing interviews. They said that normally a point writer will say, well, I know Vince like you here, but let me make this suggestion, and I'll let you know if it changed. He said at the point, I might have been drinking, but I need to impress. It might have been a power to pajamas, but instead I simply replied, you got it, Bob. It's back in the show. So I don't know. Apparently, I guess he was drunk, and I guess he got mesmerized by silk pajamas, so he decided to put it back in the script. I don't know. They said they joined him for more drink, and then he showed off some of his fighting chops. He said, I was drinking wine with Bob Barker, who was showing off karate moves in silk pajamas. One of the best moments of my life. That's all I knew.
All right, so Top Dollar responds to people trying to say Swerve Strickland should ask out of his contract at AEW to rejoin them.
People still doing
To
that?
rejoin Hit Row. Top Dollar says, quote, he said, was it a bit of bummer that he wasn't with him? He said, nah, to be honest with you have to remember, me and Shanti and BFAT have been doing this for over 2 years. Swerve was added to the crew 2 weeks before we debuted on NXT. When we got released, he told us he wanted to do his own thing. And we didn't tell him he couldn't be in Hit Row or Hitmakers. He said he wanted to do his own thing, so he's doing his own thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's the thing I think a lot of people do misconstrue about Hit Row. He Vince threw him in there because he didn't know where to go with. So like, oh, I got this the guy that got swag, I'm gonna put him with this group. I mean, but at the same time, I mean, ain't nobody really had a voice in that group that was first. So it benefits everybody. I'm sick and tired of people trying to come back and saying you need to leave AEW just to go back. Like, look, they're like, no, like, they got it. Let them do what they do. It's Triple H, not Vince.
All right, Okada said he's going to miss the Burning Spirits 2 tour that starts on September 2nd because he's leaving for paternity leave for his son. Quote, the other day my son was born. I've been lucky enough to receive some paternity leave from the company, which I'm very grateful for. As I take a little bit of time off, I'll be refreshing and then coming back to kick ass on our next tour. Thank you very much. WWE reportedly excited about TV rights talks following Big Ten's $8 billion deal. The Big Ten Conference scored a record $8 billion deal for TV rights yesterday, and that announcement has made WWE executives excited about their own TV rights deal. It was announced yesterday that the NCAA Football Conference signed a 7-year deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC worth over $8 billion. According to PW Insider, the news has the deal had several high-level executives happy and believing that it's indication that the co-CEO Nick Khan's viewpoint of the matter are correct. Khan has regularly said on earnings calls that the increasing focus on live performing is one that the WWE can use to get a high-level deal, particularly with the move from streaming platforms like Netflix and Prime Video into live performing, or at least exploring such. PWI Insider notes that there was a lot of discussion within the WWE that Khan is leading the company in the proper direction as the company's current TV deals as well as second window deals come closer to their conclusion. Next story, Chris Jericho doesn't see himself retiring anytime soon. He still believes he's doing the best work of his career and doesn't believe on stopping anytime soon. Bleacher Report's Eric Ball spoke with Jericho at the SDCC and asked him, San Diego Comic-Con, asked him if he was considering retiring. He says, no, I mean, it's been such a great run with AEW, and I feel really invigorated. It's really invigorated love for the business. I still think I'm doing my best work of my career. I really do. On the importance of knowing when it's time to go, I didn't feel like I was doing my best work. I might have thought about it, time to walk away. You don't want to be embarrassing yourself or shut up yourself. Thank you, sir. Matt Hardy said he loved the team with Danhausen. Brokenhausen will be a lot of fun. Oh, right on the chill. That's perfect. Freeze is good. So, Matt Hardy is a big fan of how committed Danhausen has been to his character and thinks it'd be fun to team with him. Hardy discussed the situation on the latest episode of Extreme Life with Matt Hardy podcast, noting that Brokenhausen isn't a bad idea. Quote, Brokenhausen, that'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to do that, and who knows? It's professional wrestling, so never say never. I would say at some point we will definitely get a broken Matt Hardy and Danhausen tag team. That'd be a lot of fun. He continued, I'm a fan of his work, and I love how he's committed to the bit and how committed he is to his character. He's never broken out of that character on a large scene, so people still buy into it, which is so great. Once again, my hat's off and kudos to him for being so dedicated. I would love to see Brokenhausen in some way. 2.0 has signed a contract extension with AEW. We got a lot of stories, so I'll just leave that at that. I don't really need to get detailed into that. Well, I have a lot of stories. I'll say I'm pulling stuff from last week. While my laptop was still on the load, because it was still loading all the crap from last week. Got everything going now. Your girl, man, Chris Statlander, they had big plans for her before that injury. As previously reported, she was expected to be out for 6 to 8 months following torn ACL with a knee injury. They had significant plans for her, as reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, which included a match with Jade Cargill, which they had been building on television, which she probably might have been Jade's first loss. Next, actually, I'm going to hold off on that because that ties into a larger scheme of stories. Kenny Omega returned last week. Comments on Dynamite return and said he'll surpass where he was at. In a Twitter post, Kenny Omega reflected on his return, which happened on last week's episode of Dynamite. Omega teamed with the Buck to defeat Andrade El Idolo, Roosh, and Dragon Lee. Omega currently working on a story where he has in-ring wrestling isn't 100% from various injuries. Omega acknowledged his shortcomings in the match, said it'll be better next time. He wrote, the pieces aren't all there yet, but I refuse to burden the Bucks with my limitations. We have a real chance at this. I'll be even stronger in round 2. I'll surpass where I was at. I'll surpass everyone. Next is another one on Omega about its health and him and Dragon Lee after last night's Dynamite match. It got shortened for time for a little bit. In this match, Wrestling Observer Radio give an update on Dragon Lee and him, particularly after that nasty dive in the middle of the match. Omega was placed on the barricade. Dragon Lee shot at him like a bullet out of a gun, knocking them both over the barricade into the floor. Meltzer noted that both were fine after the spot, and Lee was fine after a V-trigger that knocked him out, it appeared. The two were simply selling. Omega in particular, the storyline that isn't 100% with all the ring rust and all the tape on him. He'll gradually get better with each match. It's just part of the storyline. Omega was addressing fans after his return. Athletic to tape, medical advice or not, you're not going to get. He said you're going to get Kenny Omega 2.0 by some stroke of luck, and because these guys are better than you even know, they're incredible. We're going to survive tonight. We're alive in this tournament. Talking about him and the Bucks. It's enough of that. I'll skip past that. All right, so starting last week, there was a lot of rumors that came out. Before I spill into this week's stories, we have to go into these first. So there's some talent, some moves made backstage at AEW to kind of streamline everything between the talent and Tony Schiavone. For example, some of the moves that have been made is Tony Schiavone has been promoted to senior producer and special advisor to the talent. And he spoke on this backstage. And he's talking about wanting to do more for AEW. Quote, what happened was, and I thought about this for a long time, and talked to my friends backstage at Caliber, Aubrey Evers, Bryce Runsberg, and talked to some other people. I like being an announcer. That's how I've always made my living, but I could do so much more. We do this podcast. I do the prepared for Rampage, basically. That's one busy work day a week. I've got all this time, and I don't mind working on the weekends. I keep in touch with Mega, who is our lawyer and HR person. He's another person that they put in part of that streamlining of the people backstage. As some type of a hierarchy for AEW. I said, I'd like to meet with Tony Khan and go over some ideas. I want to talk with you, but I don't want to talk with you during TV. You know how it is. TV is a wild beast. I'm talking with Tony. Quote, Tony, we talked at the party. We talked flying back. He said, listen, I know your EVPs are the Bucks, Kenny Omega. They wrestle and they have final say on a lot of things, but I'd like to work closely with them and help any way I can. He was very receptive to it. We started working overnight. Pat Buck has been brought in, and he's very professional and does a great job on a lot of things. I've gone working closely with Pat. He brought us all in at Universal Studio Tapings. This guys, I really need your help. The company's going like gangbusters, and I feel like I can use you in these ways. He said, sure, and the announcement was made about the different hierarchy of people backstage, basically. And basically they're doing it to try to change things for the better. Quote, I noticed the fact, and the comment is probably going to get a lot of criticism, but here it goes. I do know, and this doesn't speak for everyone, but I do know that throughout the years in professional wrestling, there's been a lot of people that treated like shit, and we want to change that dynamic. We really do. Can't please everybody, and everybody.
I don't know why he think he gonna get criticism for that. That's true.
You can't please everybody, and everybody wants to know where their creative is and where their vision is, and there's so much to gather up, and there's sometimes you cannot give each person, individual person, the attention he or she needs, or where they're going, or where their character is going, or what they need to do next. You can't. Now I'm putting in a position to help Tony out with that and let them know we care about you. Here's where you are. You are a big part of this, or you're not a big part of this right now. Here's your role, and just communicate. It's all about communication. There's a lot of people, not at all, but a lot of people treat it all like shit throughout their wrestling career. And we want to change that dynamic for that. And we think where we are. All right, let's get into the heavy lifting of shit. So apparently, Punk was so pissed off last week before he had cut that promo. If you remember the beginning of the promo, he was talking about Hangman Page and called him out to the ring and challenged him, but Hangman never came out. That was based upon he was pissed off about a promo that Page had cut backstage, talking about he's not the hero that you guys try to make him seem like he is when he comes out here and you're all chanting his name and singing his song. He said he's an asshole to a lot of people backstage. Sometimes he doesn't go around shaking hands and doing the normal for people, you know what I'm saying? So that was his opinion, and he put it out there in that promo. I'm paraphrasing because he said a lot more in the promo.
But he said that he definitely they saying about CM Punk.
He was saying that about CM Punk.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, they said his thing when he mentioned Hangman, they said it was off script. That wasn't even supposed. He didn't even what's the name. They said he like did that like on his own. Yeah, it's been a lot of what's the name backstage. The tension between them two is like real. Like between Punk and Hangman?
So there's a lot of backstage drama involving a lot of the top guys back there. One of the big issues started with Colt Cabana when he was almost cut from the company. Was led instead he was moved to ROH. There are a lot of different stories about why that happened, including Punk and Page. A lot of people feel like Punk had something to do with that. You know, they fell out a long time ago after he had to sue Chris Amon, the former WWE doctor, when he got that, I think it was a staph infection or whatever. The injury was that Punk had got, that they denied that he had and stuff like that for a grip. So before last week's show, they said that it was rumored that he almost stayed home over the issues with him and Paige or whatever. Apparently backstage, he had allegedly made some shoot comments regarding Paige about what that I guess weren't in the promo, and a lot of that promo, especially those Paige parts, were unplanned from last week anyway.
The coward shit.
This is going back to promote them heading into their bout at Double or Nothing in 2022 back in May. It's rumored that Punk and Hangman didn't see eye to eye in some of their promo build-up going into it. Punk reportedly went so far as to have a meeting with AEW higher-ups on the content of the comments that Hangman made in his promo. And then he said flat out, "I will not lose to Hangman." Like he pulled a Hogan on that one. Creative control, as they would say. You know what I'm saying? Several people in AEW reportedly informed Fightful that what happened in last week's promo, by Punk on AEW was unfair to Hangman, who was said to have been in the building for last night's show. However, one source said that Fightful and Hangman, even if he was aware of it, what could he have done? Run out there and charge past Tony Khan to interrupt the promo that he wasn't scheduled to be on? Hangman couldn't have won that situation, was basically what they were saying.
Hangman was in the building for that promo too. I think it was John Silver. I think
they also said he's not.
They were backstage with them.
They also said he's particularly not a confrontational individual. He was backstage with John Silver and Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno, but they were talking about the three-way when the Bucks came in.
Yeah. So.
Excuse me, I remember.
Yeah, that's some legit heat going between them two. I don't remember. It's funny because they put it up there, and Hangman Page basically responded to Punk. No, I remember. I think it was from a Megan Thee Stallion song. I think it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Haters are going to hate on Thursday or something like that. It was something. It was from one of her songs. I don't listen to her, so I don't know nothing about the music. But yeah, it was. I'm like, dang. He clapped back with that though. Like.
They were making fun of it, Cass Wheeler and Daxon Cash, because they said they had put a Twitter post of some art where they were carrying CM Punk as he had the title in his hands or whatever, and it says, quote, "Punk bullied me into doing this." And then the other one, that was Dax, and then Cash said completely went into business for himself with this great piece of art. So they're making fun of the situation. Hangman. And John Silver reacted to CM Punk's call out. First, Page reacted to the second by quoting Megan Thee Stallion.
That was it, yeah.
He wrote, "Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, bad bitches have bad days."
That was it, yeah. I'm like, oh, come on, man. He wins just off that.
Lyrics from the song Anxiety. And Hangman is the anxious millennial cowboy. So with that line, he stayed in character, you know. It's like, meanwhile, John Silver shared a picture of Hangman backstage eating and catering because Hangman's a little busy right now. Said best wrestler in catering. CM Punk card, we got that part already. We already know that happened. So that's. And then here you go. Also, is that CM Punk was referencing we already know who he was referencing in that promo, so we don't need to get to that part of it either. Now let's get back to this week's stories. All right. We'll get into some more Punk stuff in a little bit. All right, first. So do you remember, tell me you remember this, because I remember. So when the fallout of what happened next, well, I found it very interesting, but do you remember that Dynamite when Sammy Guevara pulled a girl out the crowd and proposed to her? I think her name was Pam.
I'm drawing a blank on it.
Okay. So that was over a year and a half ago, whatever. I'm not the only one who didn't forget that because apparently 3 months later he was dating Ty Mello. And then as you see where their relationship is, they're now married.
Mm-hmm.
In the interview with Denise Salcedo, Ty Mello speaks about her relationship with Sammy Guevara as well as their relationship with Sammy Guevara's ex, Pam Nizio. The two took to a lot of abuse online when they announced their relationship as it happened. Not long after Guevara's past relationship had ended. So a lot of people think maybe he started messing with Ty when he was still with the chick after he sat there and proposed to her in the ring or whatever. The negative comments from people online that she did nothing wrong. At the end of 2021, there was a lot of drama with me and Sammy. I was super upset because that was the best year of my career. I know who I am, and I know I did nothing wrong. People just talking shit. On the relationship with Pam, every time we've had a conversation about her, Sammy always talks about her with a lot of respect and love. After the whole social media drama, she was the one that texted us to check on us. So I guess that means they're cool. But I did find that interesting at the time. Here's another one we talked about recently. We talked about this about 2-3 weeks ago. Remember we were talking about after the Vince McMahon fallout, Netflix said, next to that shit? Mm-hmm. I guess they changed their mind. Netflix reportedly moving forward with the Vince McMahon project. It reported last month that they had dropped plans for the Vince McMahon docuseries after a scandal that Vince led to Vince McMahon retiring from the WWE. However, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that it's not the case and Netflix is moving forward with the project. WWE will be cooperating with the series, which will be directed and executive produced by Chris Smith. Smith was responsible for the docuseries Tiger King and Fire about the Fire Island, the Netflix version, because there's another one that's on Hulu also. And those are both dope, so I can't complain. I don't know, and here's my thing, and I feel you. The Netflix one kind of told more of the story of it, like almost like a criminal thing. And the other one told more the story of the people who like bought into it and then ended up getting screwed over. I felt like
the Hulu one. The Hulu one basically was just from Billy McFarland's perspective.
Oh, from Billy's perspective,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Right. And the one on Netflix actually detailed like everything that went wrong in terms of like people that was there, and then also too, they paid Billy for that, so he got paid for.
Of course, he did.
He got paid for what's the name. And I mean, and most of the, and actually I didn't like the Hulu one because it's like, it kind of like, I don't know if he was, it seemed like he wanted to put blame on other people, but I feel like he was just taking it all on himself. Like which I do respect, but it's like,
I don't respect it.
I don't either. Like, like, come on, dude. Like, you did jail time. Like, I know it's enough for that ball behind the scenes. The Netflix one I love because it's just like so many stories and like the after effect, how everybody got affected by it. Like people went, what's the name? People got to hide and switch uniforms because they getting chased by guys that they owe money to and everything like that.
So back on your Thunder Rosa story, we have her comments. So in an interview with Busted Open Radio, Thunder Rosa gave more details on the injury that forced her to miss All Out, noting that it was her back. The injury is so severe that she's having trouble walking. She commented on the recent rumors that she had heat with Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter, and particularly after breaking Hayter's nose. Here's something that you didn't mention there. Her and Britt Baker hate each other's guts. Like, legit.
Yeah.
Like, they don't talk backstage, none of that. The Jamie Hayter thing helped exacerbate it even more. With the broken nose thing there on Jamie Hayter. Everything you said was true. I heard was true. That she was hiding in the bathroom backstage, even if she tried to play it off like she wasn't. Like she didn't want to see Jamie Hayter after that happened. Legit, that broken nose thing all happened. Which isn't the first time. Jamie Hayter's broke her nose. This is like maybe the second, maybe third time she's broken her nose since she's been in AEW. Yeah. She broke her nose one time catching somebody on the crossbody.
I remember that one. Rope. Yeah.
So like her nose is just susceptible to this. Like it seems to be Chris Statlander's knees, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case. Knock on wood for both of them. Anyway, but all that's true. And her and Britt have legit beef.
Yeah.
So that's
nuts.
That sucks because I want to see them build up that women division. I'm sure all that contention isn't helping.
Well, I already
contentiousness.
Well, even if she was healthy, she was going to lose that belt.
Yeah, they were going to take it off her anyway. But here we go. She commented on the recent rumors about her heat with Britt Baker and stuff backstage after breaking Hayter's nose. Here we go. On injuries, she says, quote, I'm not the best physically right now. I was in a lot of pain yesterday. I had a lot happening in the last couple of weeks. Unfortunately, I'm going to be out of commission. I don't know for how long, for a couple of months probably. I have a problem with my back. And yesterday I was trying to be strong. Back problems are not easy. Some days are good, some days are not. Yesterday was not a good day. I was in a lot of pain. And that was one of the reasons why I'm taking time off. I want to be clear the air. This is not fake. This is not a work. I'm not comparing injuries to injuries. If I could fucking walk, I can fucking work. Dr. Sampson, he didn't clear me to wrestle. I'm not cleared to wrestle, and that's not what I want. So that's not that I don't want to do the match on Sunday at All Out. I can't walk. It's a shame, and that this is being put on social media, not only to discredit me as an athlete, but also to discredit me as a wrestler. I want to walk when I'm 40. I have the right to say, no, I can't walk. I can't do it. I don't want to have surgery. If we keep doing this and going through pain, then I'm going to be out longer, and I don't want to do that. Rumors on her backstage heat with other wrestlers. Quote, not everything that's being said is true. If anybody has a problem with me, anyone, call Busted Open. Call my number. Tell me to my face. I don't hide from my problems. I don't run from my problems. You could talk to me. My door is open.
Sound a little defensive there.
That goes for anybody. I've taken accountability when things have happened. I'm a straightforward person. Some people don't like that and are afraid of that. I am not. I am a trained fighter. I don't run away from shit. Stop reading stupid shit online. My conscience is clear. I know what I am all about. If there are any problems of any kind, they can contact me. They can contact AEW and we can clear the air with them. There is a protocol that needs to be followed. People need to respect the company in general. And I respect and represent AEW. I am still the AEW Women's Champion. When I get back, whoever champion, if you thought you're going to get rid of me, you're not. I'm going to get better and stronger. End quote.
Okay, then. I mean, understand. Sound a little defensive.
Eddie Kingston, Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara were supposed to have a match at All Out, and it was canceled. They had beef because Sammy Guevara said some foul shit to Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston responded to him, but he does admit he was wrong in the confrontation backstage. And that's what led to the match being canceled. Quote, Eddie Kingston, I'll quote him in a second, but Eddie Kingston has been active on Twitter in the wake of the recent news. He was suspended from suspended from AEW. He noted the story was that Sammy Guevara had made a mention of Kingston's weight during a promo that was never aired. Kingston took exception to it. And then Pie Face Sammy Guevara.
I was just about to say that. I never heard what Sammy said, but you just said that it wasn't aired. Yeah. Okay.
Which led to him being suspended. He later admitted that he was at fault and was unprofessional. He took to Twitter to offer final thoughts on the matter. He wrote, quote, the last thing I'll say about my suspension, I was wrong. I was wrong in the wrong for touching another man's face. Let it go. On Kingston's alleged issues with the comments that were made, that it was buried him in the match. You seen a reference that earlier on Twitter. He added, never totally bury your opponent. This is one first lesson about promos that Chris Jericho learned according to the first book, Alliance Tale, Around the World of Spandex. Finally, he turned his attention to Gilbert Gilberti, a.k.a. Disco Inferno.
Why? Why do you always really need to say something?
Disco took to the side of those who body shame people, writing, wrestlers and fans need to pull a full stop on this fat-shaming bullshit. The wrestlers being fat-shamed need to put an effort into the gym and a diet instead of playing victim.
You know what I hate?
Do the fucking work and stop embarrassing this industry.
You know what?
Kingston replied, you never did the work and the boys kept you around to laugh at you. I remember hearing the story about where Big Show farted in your face. You are not a man. Not going to lie. I still enjoy watching Disco on at Wrestling Bios, reliving the war every Thursday as I eat at Five Guys and ice cream.
Nice. Okay.
He said, I remember the story where Big Show farted in your face.
Damn,
Could you remember Big Show farting in your face?
I just like the part that he said. I just like the part he said that I still like watching you reliving the wars while I'm eating Five Guys and ice cream. Like, man, I hate people like Disco Inferno. Like, cause everything Kingston said is true. Like, but like you never put working and you never was that good of a wrestler. You always like on the like mid card. Like your run at Impact was fucking shit. You was in like a 28-man stable with like with Vince Russo. Like
He had a lot of
there was
things.
nothing.
Here's some more things that he said. He said, trying to be a bigger person, as they say. But come on, man. There's so much old shit coming out of people's mouths. Last thing I would say about my suspension, we said that part. Yeah. That was it. Thought that was funny, dog. Disco.
I'm down for this.
Gilbert Gilberty.
Come on, man. Your real name is Gilbert, bro. I'm glad he dogged it. I hate, man. Ain't nothing. I was watching something like it was like an old wrestling been something. They was like over there like cracking jokes about midgets and shit. Like, come on, dude. Like,
Yeah, you caught it though, and more on the Thunder Rosa. They said they haven't talked in over a legit year. They legit cannot stand each other, but they stay professional enough to do their jobs.
I
Britt
respect
Baker
that.
and Thunder Rosa.
I respect that.
But they legit hate each other though.
that's how you do it, though. You go in there, you stay away from that person that you don't like. Then when y'all have to work together, y'all make it work. But if they could back at the business, y'all both getting the paycheck, yeah.
I like to see that they got your girl in there on the four-way for the title now that it's been vacated. But we'll get into all that during the Dynamite review. Got some more news stories here. Got about 8 or 9. Actually, eight. They played some game preview of the new AEW Fight Forever game. We might be doing some future streaming of that if I can make some time in the schedule. I know you want to get some streaming of the WWE game also. They had
We're not biased when it comes to our wrestling product. We like all wrestling, okay? Lance Storm said it best. If you call yourself a wrestling fan and you shit on one because you don't like the other one without value reason, you're a dumbass. I mean, love Lance Storm.
they had an
That shit so
event.
bluntly.
They had a Gamescom event in Cologne, Germany, where they were previewing the game. Somebody played as Colt Cabana and defeated Angelico. Someone played as Christopher Daniels and defeated Evil Uno.
Why Evil Uno?
But on the Twitter post,
Why Evil Uno?
but my thing is though, on the Twitter post, they were showing like it looks great. It looks really, really, really good. Like the visuals of the game and everything like that. I like it, and it's different from how WWE did theirs too. It's the other thing I like about it. I can't wait to get it. Can't wait to get my hands on it. I figure by the end of September, I will have bought this. Cause you can buy the pre-order. I'll have the pre-order done by the end of September. For sure. Oh, next story. Had that one twice. Jonathan Moxley takes shots at WWE following the Rampage taping. After the Rampage taping, World Champion Jon Moxley came out to talk to the crowd. So this must have been, now I'll fully admit, during Rampage, all we're here in Cleveland, I left during the main event to beat the crowd. The main event was Cesaro versus Dustin Rhodes.
It would have been a Rampage.
Yeah, I did go back and watch it and saw what happened. But after that, because this happened twice. After Dynamite, Kenny Omega came out and said some words to the crowd.
Yeah, I seen that.
I posted that on Facebook, beefing with Will Ospreay, and he bit the crowd a dude, which I got to see live for the first time. By the way, I was in person for my first 5-star match. Dave Meltzer gave the main event of Dynamite 5 stars, which is ironic because I think he came close, but didn't give him Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy 5 stars, but gave it close. He gave it like 4.75. So I would have said we've been in person for 2 this year. But I thought that was pretty dope. But anyway, he came out and addressed the crowd. He took shots at WWE and Vince McMahon at one point, while praising Cesaro, giving him credit for ignoring some old crazy man who told him that he wouldn't succeed. Before that, he told AEW fans that they're friends to watch the product and not Raw or SmackDown. To watch their product and not Raw or SmackDown. He said, quote, AEW fans have been the best fans in the world. The best fans, the most fun I've ever had in wrestling is wrestling for you. We promise to keep busting our asses if you keep promising to support AEW. You watch us on TV. You tell your friends if they're watching that Monday night, Friday night bullshit. You say, you got to check out Wednesdays, man. Wednesdays are where it's at. Come back next time and bring your friends. Tell them to bring 2 friends. Next time we're back in Cleveland. Let's sell this place out. Only the top rafters really weren't like sold out for real. The rest of the crowd was very into the show and very filling up the arena. It wasn't sparse at all.
I feel that was more of a shot at Vince, not Triple H. Triple H.
So here's a little bit of a
Triple
preview.
H is still cool. Like Triple H don't got beef with none of those cats over there that he close with. So
Well, this story doesn't do anything for us, but here you go, because they had a video that might go along with the story that they put out after the main event. Well, not the main event, after the title match on Dynamite between Punk and Moxley, where it seems like he's really re-injured the foot. We talked about this yesterday, you know, amongst our friends. He was saying the first time when I broke the foot, I didn't feel anything. So this time I completely felt that shit. So maybe it means he really did re-break it. It says, but then here's some more to this story. Previously reported, Jon Moxley beat CM Punk in 3 minutes. Punk seemingly re-injured his foot. Jon Moxley hit the gorilla lariat to Death Riders after the collar and elbow, dropping the elbows down too, score the win. According to Wrestler Observer Radio, though, Punk's foot is good to go. And there will be a rematch between the two at All Out September 4th. It's unknown if any stipulations will be added to the match moving forward. So we'll see.
that was a mind game thing, probably.
Okay. What mind games are you playing by losing the match?
I don't know. Maybe everybody your foot re-broke. I don't know. I leave that for Tony Khan to decide.
We'll get to a couple Tony Khan stories in a second. CM Punk addresses the AEW rumors. Controversial comments regarding Hangman last week and wanted to make fans pay to see what happens next. Sports Illustrated's Justin Barrasso published an article on AEW World Champion CM Punk earlier today ahead of his title unification match, well, when he was the world champion at the time. CM Punk addressed the controversial comments that he made last week's promo regarding former champion Hangman Page. Here are some highlights. Quote, on CM Punk on if he feels fulfilled in AEW in light of the rumors that have come out in the past recent weeks. He says, yes, 100%. You try not to put too much stock in the internet rumors, but for AEW, I definitely think that's part of our audience. Twitter is not real life, though. On top of that, a lie makes his way around the world twice before the truth puts his boots on or gets out of bed. If I address every rumor, I'd be here all day. I love AEW. It's not a competition who loves it more, or who's the heart and soul, or who's this or who's that. AEW allowed me a second chance of what I do best, and that's professional wrestling. Quote, on the rumors, telling only one side of the story, and his locker room always being open. One side of the story, my locker room is never closed. It's always open. Anybody who wants to DM or with Dave Meltzer some bullshit can come talk to me about it. It's not macho, some stupid bullshit. I'm an adult. Come talk with me. Punk on his first year at AEW exceeding his expectations. My first year exceeded my expectations, and now we have a baseline to build off of, a foundation of rivalries and people that I'm friendly with. It makes the second year all that more exciting, seeing all the business ventures tip upward. That's why I was brought here. Possibly even more exciting than the first year. On his comments that he made last week on Dynamite and on Twitter not being the real world, that's quote, that's what I'm here to do, make people want to see what happens next. I'm trying to sell tickets to live events. That goes back to me saying Twitter isn't the real world. Twitter is a bunch of people that don't really care about your opinion. They want to find a like-minded opinions to share their worldview. I'm not trying to tell stories. I'm trying to tell stories, sell tickets, get people to tune in to Dynamite. His thoughts on Moxley. I think Moxley is a guy who followed in my footsteps. He was a guy that was never really given the ball in WWE. And when he was, it was taken away from him time and time again for other stars. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder because he thinks the same thing's happening to him again. If he's a different dude from the last time I wrestled him, which is almost 10 years ago, I'm a different person too. CM Punk on his health after the in-ring return following a foot injury. It's a prickly topic. I've had problems with the way my health is handled in the past. I've devoted my waking time to getting my foot back to 100%. I will be clear about my surgeons. Whether it means I'll be 100% or not, that's where the tricky answer comes in. It's kind of like fighting for the first time in the UFC. Let's not bring that up.
Don't bring that up.
Don't correlate that, Punk.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I'm ready. I've done the work. You weren't ready then, even when you did the work. But you were never ready to do it until you do it, which we found out. This foot, I found out in person.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I'm doing everything I can do to make
Your
sure it's
intro was
ready.
longer than the fight.
Yep, that shit was amazing to me. It won't be ready until I do it. Am I ready until Am I game ready until I play the game? I'm looking forward to playing the game and finding out where it's at. Well, we may have found out where you're at, but as I said, we read a story, which means the foot injury may not be real. I'm not going to keep reading through all of this because he answered a bunch of other stuff about he approaches wrestling now and not wanting to let people down after re-injuring himself or possibly re-injuring himself. We saw what happened from that. So all those answers to those questions are kind of irrelevant right now. So we're going to move past that. I pulled it up because it was dated for the same date as the match. So I assumed that that story made it came out after it. Excuse me. Tony Khan decided to book it. His reasons were the following. He said it's a great match for the fans now, and I feel like it'd be a great match at any time, but tonight I feel like it's the right night for the big fight, and given that last week we could not keep these guys apart, it just did not seem sustainable to try and have this show get taken down week after week by these guys who were clearly just going to tear each other apart if we continue this way. So we saw last week we couldn't even get the show running. Mark Sterling and Tony Nese were coming out for an interview and couldn't even get that going. Yeah, John Moxley hijacked the show, and CM Punk was out there, and they were fighting again for the second time on the same night. So these guys want to fight, I think, tonight on TBS and presenting opportunity for a big fight. Of course, we approach All Out card. It's going to be massive. We're going to have a much better idea for what's going on and what that's going to look like. Got two more stories here. This is an interesting one. Details from AEW talent meeting, which they had this past Monday prior to the Dynamite that was here in Cleveland. Max Caster even brought it up in his rap. We'll get to that when we get to the reviews. WWE executives were told to not tamper with AEW contracts, or there may be some legal action there. You can see Mr. McDevitt in the courtroom against some AEW lawyers. AEW held a talent meeting before tonight's episode of Dynamite, and details on what transpired in the meeting have been revealed. PWI Insider reports that Tony Khan was very animated and impassioned, which he was. Prior to Dynamite coming out, he came out in a typical Tony voice. Yo, see you guys out here! Yeah! You know how he screams at the top of his voice and shit? So that was cool. Anyway, Fightful Select noting that Khan was fired up for the meeting which took place between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Khan reportedly talked about having several new structures in place, which we talked about earlier, such as the talent relations and development divisions being expanded to make it better for talents. The meeting talked about the lines of communication as Khan addressed rumors of miscommunication in the company and talked about having access to him. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks reportedly said that their door is always open and they can be reached by anyone in the company who has concerns. Chris Jericho and Tony Schiavone also spoke at the meeting. Khan said that they were in the industry that has long been dominated by the WWE and that he's done everything he can to make it better for talent. He also said that just before the meeting took place, Chief Legal Officer Mega, so that's their Jerry McDevitt is Mega. Got it. Sent an email to WWE's co-CEO Nick Khan and Stephanie McMahon telling him not to tamper with AEW talent. So, they could be asking some guys, hey, Triple H is now in charge of old man's out. You might want to make a return. I'm assuming that's what happened.
I don't think ain't nobody tampering. It's the fact that everybody talking about the whole thing.
So you think the rumors are getting in their head? So before it happened,
I think all the Twitter shit getting in their head. Like everybody, like the thing with the first string. Like everybody. Damn it. I want to say when Ciampa got to run, everybody was looking like he's one choice boy, and everybody putting up like Adam Cole right now. If Adam Cole in WWE, it's not them tampering. It's the Twitter shit getting to them. Like. Honestly, that's what I think it is. Like every time somebody do something, like people say, "Oh well, you did this a couple weeks ago." Like people say, "Oh well, Keith Lee, all these guys would have been finally utilized if they was under Triple H." Like that's then, that's now. I mean, Triple H is doing this thing there. I mean, they was under Vince. Vince let all them cats go. They went somewhere. They're doing good in AEW. I honestly just think he's being a little paranoid right now. Right now, but I don't think nobody's tampering.
Last story. Tony Schiavone quotes are things as bad as people say they are and the rumors suggest in AEW currently. It's rumors about a lot of backstage drama right now. But recently on his latest episode of his podcast, What Happened When, Tony Schiavone responded to the rumors backstage of issues when discussing his new responsibilities in the company. Quote, I enjoy my job. I enjoy my new responsibilities with the company. They are challenging, but those are challenges that I am ready to accept when I took the job. I'm seeing a whole new part of wrestling and wrestlers that I didn't see before. Yeah, I think so. There are some challenges, but of course the internet is going crazy about that, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm not going to say that right now things are as bad as the bullshit people are putting on the internet would say. Not even close. We've got some things in place now, and I think it's going to make us even better. And that's the end of my stories. Combine some last week and this week. Somebody is throwing down out there right now. Smell it. All right, let's get into the review of the week. You have Monday Night Raw.
Oh, a good Raw was. Damn good Raw it was.
Some good returns, too.
All right, I'm trying to find the one quote for this first story. I'm trying to look and find it, but I'm trying to paraphrase the best way I can. As you course know, this Raw, we are in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. All right, let's start this thing off. Let's just start it off with the fact we got Riddle and Seth Rollins brawl. They're separated by security. They brawl into the arena. More brawl leads to more separation, so they're finally held apart. Now, we actually get into the show. We start off with Trish Stratus, who is excuse me. We start off with hometown legend Trish Stratus. Of course, the fans are real happy. They're happy to see her. She seems overwhelmed by the reaction. The one more match chant come. Trish says she's been thinking. Then out comes, I guess their name is called Damage Control now. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky, they come out to interrupt. Bayley's talking about how awesome it is to have Trish back and why she's here. Through translation, Sky said she was a huge fan, but Bayley wanted to know why Trish has been after them over the last couple days. Cue Bianca Belair, who comes out and basically says that Bayley is in the same stratosphere, that she paved the way. If it wasn't for her, there would be no Bayley, there would be no Dakota Kai, there wouldn't be no Bianca Belair. Bayley is still poking buttons to where, if I want to quote, Trish said, she said, I am retired, but I can become unretired real quick, or I am retired, but I was retired real quick. This leads to a stare down between them. And then Bayley says, but it's three of us. And it's two of you. And then out comes Alexa Bliss and Asuka, so it makes it 4. It's their 3. They lead the ring. Then we get to a match which was the women's tag team title match between Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Dakota Kai and Io Sky. This was a good 15-minute match. Asuka knocks Kai out to the outside, then off the apron. Bliss comes back, getting out of trouble. Then she made the tag back to Asuka. They basically trade kicks. Bliss comes back into the ring, takes them out. Cheap shot. As we go to break, Asuka striking with Io Sky while you got Aaliyah, Doudrop, Nikki ASH watching in the back. Sky goes for a springboard missile drop kick. Kai hits a scorpion kick. Bliss hits a double DDT, but Kai breaks it up. Bliss missed the save and tried Twisted Bliss only to get Twisted Bliss in the knees. Asuka tags herself back in, hit a spinning back fist. Blind tag the Sky. Asuka don't realize it. Which means Kai is tapping to the Asuka lock. Don't matter. Sky comes in for the roll-up pin at the 18-minute mark. Actually gave them time. Dolph Ziggler says he's ready to bounce back after his loss. Just they interrupt him, but I don't think much of Ziggler attaching himself to another up-and-comer to stay relevant. This leads to their match. Rhea Ripley is here. Super Kick of 10. First of all, Finn Balor got a new theme song. So.
You don't like it?
Huh?
You don't like it?
I'm forward to the old what's the name? Finn Balor.
Yeah, I don't like that he
That song was good, heel or bad. Just with the heel, he just did the thing with the hands, like looked like a gun. He got like tattooed. That what made it raw. Like it's good, heel or bad. It's a good song, heel or bad. Like you got to change it up. Like The Rock. Like his song that he came out to is when he was face is not good. Like I love the If Conquer Hollywood Rock thing. So it's like one of my top 10 favorite instruments of all time. Like I don't know, people don't like it as much, but I like the If Conquer. Then hit the beat tune like that. I just love it. Anyway, Super Kick attempt is blocked. Ziggler gets sent to the corner. Balor talks some trash. Go to another break. Ziggler gets an elbow to the corner. He get head right, getting taken down with some right hand. Famouser counter into a sit-out power bomb. Ziggler with the DDT. Famouser attempts for a 2. They're both down. Balor with the the John Woo kick, but he missed the coup de grace. Zigzag for a near fall. Ziggler headbutts Balor's Philly, but Ripley gets a cheap shot in 1916 to the coup de grace for the finish. Aaliyah brags about being the bougie badass, but Bayley comes down and mocks her for like, you're the bougie badass, but where's your partner right though? You're by yourself. Basically. Then
Aaliyah said she's a bougie badass.
Yeah, she's the bougie badass.
That's her character thing.
Because you know Raquel Gonzalez is the but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like you got to be good in the ring to say that type shit. I feel like without Raquel Gonzalez, you wouldn't.
And don't buy it.
I don't buy that
They
shit
came
at
up
all.
there and basically laughed at her.
No, I don't buy that shit at all. But all right.
They laughed at her. Trish comes back and says, "When are you getting back in the ring?" Bitch Lee took Bayley versus Aaliyah for the night. Adam Pearce was with some security looking at some photos that they walked the other way. Probably one of my favorite parts of the night. Something that I noticed too. Okay, Alpha Academy is here to accept some new students. It's funny, he said they're going to start in Toronto, but all you can find is toothless hockey players at Tim Hortons. Considering that Tim Hortons is really popular in Canada. He said Toronto Maple Leaf lost a hockey game to a team from Tampa Bay, so they don't even deserve hockey. So he said, send me your best. And then we get KO, who was in the old KO NXT gear with the KO on the shirt. On the shirt. On the shirt. Massive pop he gets, which probably was he got a massive pop, and he probably got the fourth best pop of Raw, probably. Probably, and he's from Canada. Canada. Great match between these two, by the way, too. Gable basically gets knocked down. Owens is in control of this match until he hits a nice T-bone suplex. Then Owens hits a cannonball. Frog splash butt 2, pop-up powerbomb, and the stunner both get countered to a British German suplex, which is a nice little reversal. Gable hits a headbutt for 2. Swinging superplex gives Owens a delayed 2. Swanton hit knee. Hits the pop-up powerbomb. I love that he's going back to the pop-up powerbomb as his finisher. And the stunner will be more like a signature move. After the match, Otis jumps Owens and he gets stunned for his effort. Then he powerbombs Gable onto Otis. Judgment Day are mocking Mysterio. Finn Balor saying Dynamite enjoy getting beaten up by. He said Finn Balor said Dominant might be enjoying getting beat up by Rhea, declaring 619 mine. Damien Priest said he's going to send Edge to retirement. Next we get Bayley and Aaliyah. Bayley wins this match. I mean, the main thing of this was she basically was like mocking Trish. She was like mocking her pose. She was trying to do the Stratisfaction. Basically, all she was trying to do basically mock Trish. Rose plan finish at 6:32. Next we get Miz and Chambers, AJ Styles and Bobby Lashley. Styles drop kick Ciampa to start it off. Lashley comes in. They have a double suplex spot. Miz comes in, and Lashley gets to wreck everybody again. Styles come back from break. Styles in trouble. He's finding out trouble, tagging Lashley again. Every time Lashley got tagged in this match, basically just cleaned house. Basically, what Lashley did. Like every time he got tagged in, he was just rolling motherfuckers. Lashley posts Ciampa for clothesline. Finally, the distraction. Ciampa hits a Willow Bell for a 2. Lashley with a spear. Miz makes the save. Styles get knocked down. Someone where security pulls someone away into the other side of the ring. Dustin Loomis appears and pulls Miz over the barricade through the crowd for the DQ finish. I still don't know what's its exception with Miz. I don't know. Or is it more like with AJ? Or I don't know. Ciampa gets beat up, including phenomenal forearm and a spear. Miz get taken away. Get video on Edge. And probably the second biggest pop of the night is for Johnny Gargano. He is back. Rebel Heart thing. Fans chant Johnny Wrestling. He basically gives I love how he give a history of NXT though. Like he runs down his resume. He like 2-time North American champion. He like first ever NXT Triple Crown winner, 2-time tag team champion. In the he said the NXT champion. Run down the takeovers. He ran down his whole NXT resume. He said he wasn't sure he was able to do this again. He said he's been a father to baby wrestling. He said he'll appreciate that when he gets older, by the way. And he said he always wanted to do. He said he wants to win championship. He said he wants to go to WrestleMania. It's time to continue with Dream. Guess who comes out next? Theory. And then the fans back to the "Who's Your Daddy" chant because he basically was under Gargano's like shadow, like NXT. And Theory was like, "What?" Theory was like, "What have you been doing for the 9 months?" Doing Gargano said, "I've been changing a lot of diapers." Theory said, "Well, I had a briefcase." It's the way he said. He said, "Man, like I came over here." He was like, "Made an impact, like I'm Money in the Bank." He like, "I was the youngest U.S. champion." He's like, "I kind of did everything you wanted to do, dude." And then Gargano's like, "Yeah, I'm real proud of you." He said he couldn't do. He said, "But I couldn't do what I did without you." But he said, "But now it seems like I'm the veteran and you're the rookie." And then he said Gargano could carry my bag. He said, no, you just carry my briefcase. He said, "Maybe I can show you the way." Playing back to the preference of their way in NXT. And then he basically said, "You can either follow my lead or get behind me, or you can get taken out." So he said, "Let's do the high five." You know, they do the old no-look high five that they used to do at NXT. Gargano like, okay. He gets pumped to do it. Then all of a sudden, bam, super kick. Right to theory. So, next we get the women tag team title matches next week. And Kurt Angle will be there next week too. Then we get to our main event. Damien Priest versus Edge, who got the biggest pop of the night, hands down. And I like his trunk, his Canadian thing. Then Beth Phoenix sitting in the front row. She will get into this. She will have her involvement in this later. Starts off with Priest powering down. Edge sent to the outside. Edge basically gets control of this match. We go to break. Priest does some move off the top rope, but he missed, so he gets sent to the outside. Priest hits a razor edge through the announce table. We go to another break. Edge hits a super Hurricanrana, like Hurricanrana, but Spirit gets countered with a kick to the head. Unprettier for a 2. Gray makes a reference to Christian, but he kicks out. Priest loads up a spear, which I love. So Priest goes to mock his finisher, and then he ends up into a South of Heaven choke slam. So he basically mocking Edge finisher leads to him getting put into his own finisher. Edge gets a 2 count, and then Edge gets kicked to the referee. Priest hits his own choke slam. Bring a chair into the ring. He gets ready set up the chair though. Edge breaks away. Does his patented stump the chair, put the crossbar of the chair, put the bar of the chair as he does the crossface. Edge loads up a spear, which gets cut off by the exact same chair for a 2. Razor Edge get countered because apparently all of the fucking sudden Edge hits a fucking Canadian destroyer. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? But it's Canada, so he had it like probably one time thing. Hits a spear for the win. After the match, Ed gets ready for a concerto. Rhea Ripley comes in with a low blow. Balor with the coup de grace. They get ready to do the take him out again, but Beth Phoenix takes the chair from Ripley, and then it ends off a stare out with them too as she's beating them off with the chair. So that's the end of Raw. Amazing Raw. Keep this going, Triple H. Just keep this going. NXT. All right. So let's start it off. Get a montage of Heat Wave, including Cora Jade win, Escobar being sent away from NXT, Melo being Vinci, and Braun retaining the championship, and Baker shows up. Braun Breaker's out in the ring. He asks Orlando where his dog's at. I don't know. Can we please have him stop talking or trying to be funny? It's just not working for me. And he talked about his banger he had. He proved he wasn't the best in the ring. Said Bate made his presence down, so he called him to the ring to talk. Here comes Tyler Bate. Said he's not coy about being. They're not coy about him being NXT UK champion, which I think you said that like it happened before they. You said they played the NXT UK.
They showed him with the belt before they finished showing the tournament.
Yeah. Thank you. Good looking out on that one. So he gets a mic and he shows to the crowd and he tells Braun, thank you for the kind invitation. He said, congratulations on your win. He said, but I've been in the ring with Shady. I know how good he is, so big respect to you. He said, nothing like your respect. You're not collecting air miles, you know. He said, NK had some to offer to some of the best that NXT had to offer, and I'm your last NXT UK champion, of course. With NXT Europe around the corner, what better thing to do? They're going to unify them titles. Braun said, I know who you are. I know how great you is. I know how much and how big a threat I am to that NXT championship. When I think of NXT UK, he said, you think of Tyler Bate. He said, but it's not NXT UK. This is the NXT where the greatest superstars in the world are at. He said there should be one champion. So he agreed to that unification match. They shake on and hold their titles up in the air. Gallus, you get a Gallus in that stage, it's the Coffee and Wolfgang. They said they start fight. They never start a fight that they can't finish. They've been most dominant UK fashion in 3 years, and now they're going to go into NXT and learn what they beat into the UK. This will be Gallus boys on top. Last Legend tries to attack Fallon Henley, but as they come to the ring to no avail. Lead to our first match, the UK Championship Tag match between Brooks and Jensen versus Gallus. Wolfgang basically attacks to start. They basically beat on him. Mark Coffey comes in. Briz comes in with the shot. Jensen comes in. All 4 men brawl in the ring. In the ring, Jensen gets to a feet but get knocked down. Coffey with a shot to the jaw. Uppercut. Wolfgang is back in. Wolfgang with a front face lock. Face lock. Jensen gets to his feet, but Coffey blocks it. Backdrop tag to Briz. Briz comes in. Last Legend come out here and finally attack Fallon Henley. Briz makes the save, and here comes Pretty Deadly. Comes out here. Yeah, boys. For some weird reason, the attack Briz and Jensen, and then for some weird reason, the ref had a count. This was odd to me. If not, they don't call for a DQ. They brawl outside, so they call it a count out. But said Gallus is the winner, though. I mean, yeah, I guess by count, but why you ain't call it the DQ, though? Anyway, Diamond Mine attacked Gallus. Grayson Waller setting up his production show. Andre Chase present Charlie Dempsey, said he's going to teach him some moves. Dempsey reps a guy and torches him to Chase to the expedition. Bodie Hayward is next, and he offers a handshake but gets choked out. Chase pulled Dempsey off him. Bodie gets pissed, and Chase said maybe Dempsey wasn't the right person to ask. Dempsey said that his class is too soft and tells him to Google Billy Robinson. Grayson Waller's in the ring because the Grayson Waller effect. Yay, somebody else with a TV show. Join the long, long list. His star is Apollo Crews. Ain't about to get into much of this. Basically, he said he did Instagram Live fan interaction, so the question will be off Instagram. He said Crews is looking a little bit short. Crews raised the seat. Waller asked, what do feel more than a clout chaser. He said AJ Styles tried. He said the British folks have tried. He said you tried on your first night. Cruz was like, I was born at NXT, and I had to come back because something was missing. So I wanted to find out what it was. He was like, I know some people would hate it and be jealous like you. He said, didn't you used to have... This is the part I love. I'm like, hold on. Didn't you used to have Nigerian accent? The way Cruz said, then Cruz said the accent is this what you mean with the Nigerian accent? Like, I'm like... He said, I'm still Nigerian word and I'm proud of my heritage. You got too caught up focusing on your past, you got to focus on your future. He said, Waller said Cruz is a man that he is selfish, then goes to his Instagram for question. He said, what are the visions and tell him to try now? Cruz said, I'm a very visional thinker. He said, I've had a power that willed into existence. Waller said, well, if that happened, why you didn't help Diamond Mine against Gallus? Cruz tried to talk, Waller cuts him off. And he said, well, how would it feel when I run you out of NXT? Cruz like, how do it feel to be a low-budget version of Miz? Like, at that point, he gets salty. Then the crowd start chanting low-budget Miz to make it even more awesome. Awesome. Then when he said, well, how do it feel every night when you go home and tell your kid that he couldn't cut on Raw SmackDown? You gotta tell your kid that Dad was a champion on Monday, was a champion on Friday, and soon to be a champion on Tuesday. Then he decked Waller and said that's the Apollo Crews effect. So basically, like, he really talking about that. He won championship on Monday Night Raw. He won one on SmackDown. And Cruz said he's going to win one on NXT. So. Next, Pretty Deadly walk up to Gallus and said, you can't steal our thunder. He said they're just here to take their titles home. Pretty Deadly said they took the title from Gallus in the first place. This leads to a brawl between them. Tyler Bate talked about how he was the flag bearer for NXT UK since day one. Has grown up with it. He said that Worlds Collide, he's going to be holding up the title. Next, Von Wagner is backstage with Robert Stone. He said that the new NXT and Von don't care about accomplishment. Von no Bate is known as the big strong boy, but he's a big strong man. Bate won't make the Worlds Collide. Next, we get a squash match with Cameron Grimes and Javier Bernal. Only thing I hate about this match, still got fucking Joe Gacy here. It's basically wish him good luck, and then he's watching the match from the podium. He basically beat him in like 2 minutes. Blair Davenport, who basically destroyed Andy Hartwell's photo last week that she got from Dexter Lumis, said she had the wicked willingness to do whatever she wants. Alba Fire said last lady learned about learn not to disrespect her heritage, talk about she won't be the only person to do it, but she'll let everybody know. When there's smoke, there's fire. Then we get Andy Hartwell versus Blair Davenport. I want to say this was a squash match. Andy Hartwell loses to Blair Davenport in like 4 minutes. She gets her offense in, but this basically was just a match. This match was bad, sloppy, time was off. It's like the, second time in like 6 weeks Andy Hartwell had like a bad match. Davenport neither out the ring and said she called herself the most menacing mistress. I like that nickname. She said I'm the most menacing mistress of NXT UK, and she said she just wasted the best the division had to offer. Andy Hartwell is not the best of that division. Don't do that. Do that. And she said she's gonna be the NXT champion because she's the right perpetual women's champion. Well, guess what that brings out? It brings out Mandy Rose. Toxic Attraction is not with her, and she said Blair reputation precedes her, but we haven't met. She said, you're in my world. And in my world, everyone follows my lead. So I'm the most dominant women's champion, and I will tell you to put some respect on my name. Can't think you just come over here and call all the shots. And Mako Satura, the last emperor is, I think. They call her on NXT UK. She has the NXT UK Women's Championship. She comes out. They both look disappointed. And she tell man she wrong. She said, you're not the most dominant women UK. Most dominant women champion. She said, that's me. Which is technically true, 'cause she had that belt for damn over 600 days. Well, she is the most dominant champion in NXT. And she said, I can't think of a better way to put some respect on your name than to beat you. So, she wants a champion versus champion match. Blair interrupts. She said she's the number one contender, to which the whole crowd said, shut the hell up, basically. And then, Santora said, okay, well, how about we do a triple threat then? and then raise the belts high. So apparently gonna have a triple threat match between these two. Tiffany Stratton is backstage. She said after she beat Wendy Chu, she's gonna walk out. She said after she beat Wendy Chu, her walking with the title going to deal with her. She said when Wendy loses, she won't be able to show her face. Tony D and Stacks are here. Tony telling Electra Lopez and look out that they got cute. They used all the stuff, but it didn't work. He said that's why he's gone and Santos unemployed. He said a fugitive family start tonight with a win for Joaquin and Cruz. JD said rehabilitation is important. He learned more from his loss. He said his pain talks reminds only runs to go let that world lie. Wes Lee is with Katana, Chance, and Kaden Carter and said that JD gives him the creepy for all that stuff. Something's wrong with him. They said they're gonna be. She said they're gonna be coming for them on the go. They're counting on it. Andy Hartwell is in the ring. It's still outside the ring. You know, all this happening, she's still sitting outside the ring, like super ass depressed. And she like, is this what Rock Bottom feels like? She said Blair's phenomenal. She probably will unify the title. She said, but Blair hasn't been a problem. She said it's always been me. She said 4 months ago, I said I was done with the chairs and losses. I would reach for the start and reignite my career. She said, but here I sit 4 months later in the same position I was at stand over delivery. Well, guess who fucking comes out? Dexter fucking Loomis is here. He flies into the ring, like he always does. They hug, they kiss. He takes their hands, sliders out. Then he holds the rope forward, leads them to their arms, and leaves. And then he leaves with a picture. This is the part that's funny. He leaves her with a picture, then promptly gets arrested. Gets arrested. It said, goodbye, Andy, I heart you. That's what it said. Cora Jade recap her win. She talked about it was controversial. She said everyone loved Roxanne and that the roles were reversed. Everyone that loved Roxanne, what she did was highway robbery. She tell everybody stop complaining. She tell the guys complaining to go on a date with their girls and not inflatable dolls. Then we get the Diaz versus Legado del Fantasma. The fact that they're calling these guys Diaz, like it's a 5-minute match. The Diaz win. Not gonna get much of that match because I refuse to talk anything wrong Joe Gacy, even if it's the Diaz. Sorry. Legado was leaving the SUV pull up. Santos Escobar is in it. And he was like, you think I was going to leave without you guys? He said, La Familia live forever. He said, La Familia live forever every time getting in off their drive. Rumored that they're going to go to Friday night. Probably. So, yeah. Von Wagner versus Tyler Bate. This is your co-main event. Decent match. Wagner's best match because he got in the ring with Tyler Bate. Tyler just basically just continues to show his strength. Hit this dude with the Tyler Driver 97. Like, if you seen Von Wagner, that's a big motherfucker. Like, pick his ass up. Basically, it was wild. Basically, the match was basically Bate trying to basically starve off all the power, attacking Wagner, and then once he did, he finally gets the win. Then we get to our main event, which is the lifestyle match between Tiffany Stratton and Wendy Chu. Great. This was a good match. I like this match. This is the one thing that pissed me off. You ain't do lifestyle match. You ain't doing but just lower the lights. That's all you did. Like, that was stupid as hell. Anyway, I'd like to digress. This was a good match. Just had a lot of fucking chaos. I mean, it's Wendy Chu. Like, don't have some weird shit. Like Chu with a drop kick, Stratton on the outside. She brings a tennis racket. Chu knocks out her hand, hits her with a garbage can, then hits her with the tennis racket. Then they roll her into the ring, shoulder lift, big boot to Stratton. Tiffany goes on the outside, grabs something from outside the ring, which is a toolbox. Like, she physically grabbed a toolbox and hit Wendy Chu with it, like a whole ass toolbox. Like, I don't think, oh, okay then. Like, yeah, she hits her with the toolbox. She grabs something from the toolbox and she tried to hit Wendy with it, but Wendy does, so she hits the ring post. Chu rolls her in, sets the garbage can up into the rope, whips her into it, but Tiffany stops herself short. Then Chu knocks her down and sends her to the rope for belly suplex. Handstand splash into the corner, but it missed, so Wendy Chu hits the garbage can. They go to a break. They put a bed, got outside the ring now. You know they rushed that down during the break. Tiffany Stratton knocks Wendy Chu off the apron. Wendy gets in. for a 2. Stratton has a pink steel chair on Wendy, climbs out, moonsault, but she misses. So Tiffany eat canvas. Shoot with a brain buster onto the chair. Then she has a piece of the ring post mechanism, and she put Stratton in a crossface. Stratton gets to her purse, sprays some hairspray in her face, hits with a garbage can. Powerbomb into the garbage can, foot in their fall. Chu kicks out. She goes for the moonsault again, misses again. Come back in with her the damn body pillow. I hate that fucking body pillow when they Chu has. I hate it. She hits Tiff. She hits her with it, and then she got Legos in the body pillow though. I'm like, oh, Legos. Okay, it makes sense because your character, like, okay. Spills them over the mat, pours more. When he goes for the SKF, Stratton blocks it. Goes for a German suplex, it gets blocked. Stratton blocks that, hits a fall-away slam, but missed most of the Legos though. Then she's like, okay, then well, if I miss that, bitch, I'ma body slam you into the Legos. Lego double stomp for Stratton, kicks out. Shu goes outside the ring, hits her with her powder makeup. Shu hits her, blinds her with the powder herself, suplexes to the bed, rolls her in, Vader bomb for 3. Your winner is Wendy Chu. And then after that, backstage, we get them signing their contract in like this, what is it called? Like, what's that room, like a exec have their meetings at? Like a boardroom kind of thing. So you got them all there, signing their contract. Ron and Vader there signing their contract. So everything's official, and that is the end of NXT.
In the NXT, huh?
Yeah, I'm done for you.
You like you done, huh? All right.
Interject in with blow stuff and Bobby needs show.
I got you.
And I got
sorry.
a prediction too, I think, for Clash of Champions it's on a Friday.
Sorry, my laptop is acting a little funny at the moment as I pull up the show notes.
Yeah.
Again, come on, thing. You just working straight. Why would you not just go? There we go. It's like it flashes and it doesn't. It comes on for 2 seconds and goes away. Like, what are you doing? I apologize. So Dynamite came from Cleveland, Ohio this week. I can kind of wing it here. There we go. Hey. Laptop tripping. All right, so interesting week this week. One of the best Dynamites ever, in my opinion. Definitely the best Dynamite to come from Cleveland, Ohio, and I would know because I've been to every Dynamite that ever come to Cleveland, Ohio. Excuse me.
Even better than the one we met Cody?
Yep. That owns its own sentimental value for me, but I'm sorry, top to bottom show, this was by far the best Dynamite they've had in Cleveland. By a mile and a half. Now, so the show starts off with Jericho coming out, and he calls out Daniel Garcia, rehashing what happened from last week. Garcia comes out in a great t-shirt, by the way, that says Buffalo Kids. He's from Buffalo, so I enjoyed that. Nice. Jericho tells the crowd to shut up and said, Daniel Garcia, they don't understand the connection you and me have. He said, they know what happened last week. You pushed my hand away, you pushed me down, but everything's going to be cool if you apologize to me. Just apologize. Garcia tells him, you know how special that match was for me last week. You know how special it was for me to share a ring with my hero, Daniel Bryan. 30 minutes with my hero. People are calling it the greatest match in Dynamite history. No question. 30 minutes I hung with my hero. People were calling him the best wrestler in the world, and I hung with him for 30 minutes. That match I had last week was the kind of match I've always dreamed about having since I was a little kid when I was sitting at home in Buffalo with my mom. I've dreamed about having that match, and I had that match last week. It could be some kid watching at home. It could be my little nephew, Trey, or some random kid anywhere in the country that wants to have that match, and I want them to feel the same way that I did when Brian stuck his hand out to me and showed me respect when I was knocked out in the middle of the ring. I think people could call me a sports entertainer. I didn't care if people called me. I just cared about that moment, and you ruined that moment for me, Chris. Jericho comes back and says, I'm sorry you feel that way, Danny, but deep inside, you know you're the greatest technical sports entertainer in the world, and you're going to have many more of those moments down the line. It's true. Deep down, you know it. Now I just want to hear you say it. The crowd starts to chant, you're a wrestler. Before he can say anything, Daniel Bryan comes out. He says, I see your mentor is here trying to bully you into saying you're a sports entertainer. Now listen, you can be anything you want to be. I respect us wrestling last week, and in my opinion, I agree with all these people that you're a wrestler. You're really going to do this to me, huh? You're a sports entertainer. I want you to say it right now. You tell me you're a sports entertainer. Then he comes on and says, stop it. You got me here in between my mentor and my hero, and you make me make a decision right now in front of all these people. I can't do it with all this pressure right now. Leave me alone. I can't do it. He tries to walk away. Jericho grabs his arm and tries to walk away. He puts Jericho down again. This is Jericho with the deer in headlights looking up at Daniel Garcia. Have the look on his face.
You touching me?
Garcia leaves and walks away. And he says, Dan Bryanson says, no, I know you're a sports entertainer or anything and everything, but that was pretty entertaining. Seeing you fall on your ass. Jericho says, you know what I don't get? I don't get how everybody calls you the greatest wrestler in the world today. I've been around you for 15 years and I haven't seen it once. Some people will probably say I'm the greatest professional wrestler of all time. We can talk about longevity, changing the course of wrestling history. I damn near might be. Also, don't want to forget this. I'm the last survivor of Stu Hart's dungeon. Remember, I know every host Stu Hart taught me. I'm the Lionheart Jericho, and I forgot more about wrestling than you ever will. Dan Bryan says, really? Well, would you ask your mentor, who's a better wrestler between you and me? What do you think he'd say? He said, better yet, why don't we ask your hero, Owen Hart, who you think is a better wrestler between you and me? Who do you think they would say? Huh? He said, why don't we just end this mess right here and have a match right here in Cleveland? Lionheart Jericho versus American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. And who do you think will win that match, huh? And then Jericho says, you can get that match if you want it. September 4th, at All Out. He says, remember, last time I was in the ring with you, I choked you out and put you out the ring for 2 months. And I'm going to do it again. Just remember, till then, you better watch your back, and you never know what might hit you. All of a sudden, he's hit from behind by Jake Hager, who climbed from under the ring and attacked Bryan Danielson, and him and Jericho stand tall to end the segment. So, talking segment to open the show, but it was a good talking segment. And it led to a fire match next between Dax Harwood and Jay Lethal. Harwood came out with Cash, sent Cash to the back. Jay Lethal came out with Satnam Singh, and he came out with Sanjay Dutt, but sent them both to the back. Also, very hard-hitting match. They exchanged the Chop Symphony to begin this. They chopped it out to start the match. JR talks about how old school promoters would have loved this, and Taz explains what makes Chop sound so loud. Harwood hammers away in the corner until Lethal slips out and hits a super wrestling leg sweep. We're taking a break. Coming back from break, Harwood rolls German suplex, and Lethal is right back in with the figure 4 attempt. That's broken up, so Harwood can go for a sharpshooter, which is also broken up as well. Another figure 4 attempt is countered to a small package before Lethal kicks him in the leg. There was a great spot after all the chops I have to bring up. There's a couple during the match. One, at one point, Tony was big. Wait, I have to say this. Yeah, it's just probably it. Fuck Tony Schiavone! Shout out to Tone. He was showing love at the show. I got video of him. I have plenty of video from Everything for Dynamite. We'll share with the show next week. Our man producer isn't here right now to upload that, so we'll have him do that next week. Tony was waving to our side of the crowd because I was right inside of the announce table, was where my seats were located at. So I had to show him some love with that. Here, Tony was trying to big up Taz and basically was saying, yeah, that was a great call there, Taz. And out of nowhere, JR mocks him like, that's a great call, Taz. The way he said it was funny though. Tony's like, well, it was. Then there's a great spot also during the match where JR says, these chops are so hard it can clear the phlegm in your chest better than some cold medicine. Back to the match. The leg is fine enough after getting kicked in. Enough to hit a slingshot powerbomb for 2, and the sharpshooter goes on. Sanjay Dutt with pencil in ear gets on the apron to break it up. To call for the break. Lethal grabs for a roll-up on. He gets 2 small packets, gives Harwood the same in the middle rope. Spinning cross body gives him 2 more. Lethal gets crafty and gets distracted by the referee though. Hits a roll-up on the trunks is enough to get the win over Harwood though, to extend their series going into the pay-per-view coming up in a couple weeks. Makes sense. Post-match, Post-match, Sanjay Dutt comes out and says, yeah, we're having a 6-man, but I never said who will be representing our team in that 6-man. Jay Lethal will be, of course, and also 2 more friends that we have. Then he announces your favorite charisma vacuums in the room. The Motor City Machine Guns.
Real?
Hey, that's an upgrade over Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh in that match, though.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is a big upgrade. Yeah.
Somewhere, as soon as that match starts, you will slowly hear. You know what that sound is? Oh, the charisma being sucked out of the room.
Good tag team. Jeez.
Thunder Rosa comes up next, and she's in tears, and she's announcing that due to injury that she will have to vacate the women's title. They announced what match will be happening later. She said the interim for the women's title, but I feel like this is more of the actual champion, and you're going to come back and get a shot at the actual champion, not the interim thing like they did with Punk and Moxley recently. But she did say interim out her mouth, so we'll get there. Next match, Billy Gunn taking on the C. Billy Gunn versus Colton Gunn. Claim handled Billy Gunn's entrance. The rap went, listen. Yo, Gun Club, you took your turn into a stupid. It said, I fucked up, my bad. It said, Gun Club, you turned into a stupid problem. Billy looks like you probably should have wore a condom. The Acclaimed hand out another savage beating to the point I might want to go and call another talent meeting. You little jerks get no respect. We'll wipe you out like Biden did student debt. Your whole life just another tough choice. You're not tough guys, you're just ass boys.
Last part of it needs some work. I feel like they fit bars, and then like you get to the end, it's like it's just like run out of flame. It's like,
the Acclaim handle Billy Gunn's entrance, as I said right there. There's a funny spot there in this match, probably the funniest one of the night by JR to me. We'll get to that in a second. Billy wastes no time in powering Colton down. And to the outside, you take an early break. Back from break, Billy unloading in the corner and stomping away. With the referee having to pull him off. The distraction leaves Sophie Hathaway to get us some cheap shots with the boombox on the floor on the Acclaim. That's enough for a distraction for Colton to get into a low blow. Sets up for the Colt 45 and the victory over his daddy after a little over 6 minutes into the match. Post-match, Stokely Hathaway again offers his business cards to the Guns, and this time they accept them. The beatdown continues until they're ran out of the ring by Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland to make the save. We'll continue on that point later on in the show. So the funniest shit happened during this match. There was one segment as he knocked Colton Gunn to the outside. Billy Gunn goes and does his lounge spot on the top ropes where he kind of stretches out with his legs and stuff like that. So as he's doing that, he's doing the scissor me daddy ass to Bowens, right? So as he's doing this, Taz noticed, and he's like, he basically comments on it. It says currently he's doing the scissor me with Bowens. He said, I believe that's what the term is called, or whatever the fella's saying. So when the desk goes silent for 3 seconds, all of a sudden JR chimes in like, so what would you do if Hook wanted to scissor with you? It was but the way he said it was the funniest shit.
JR.
He's like, so
JR. Sure.
So next, Death Triangle, Aussie Open have a battle with each other where it said, we decided, we made a decision that we're not just gonna let you live. We're going to murder you in the ring. Basically what he was saying, battling between each other about who's the best British wrestler going in the world today. Next match, Britt Baker taking on Kylan King, who's from Painesville. That's a great place to be billed from as a professional wrestler. Painesville, Ohio.
I've seen Kylan King wrestle before. She's a great wrestler. She's kind of tall, too.
6'1".
Yeah, she's tall, too.
Yeah, 6'1". Baker hammers away in the corner, but King reverses and stomps away in the same set of corner. A downward spiral into the crossbuckle drops King, though, and Baker pulls her head into the post. Back in the ring, King hits a German suplex, but King is then taken down and stomped. The lockjaw put on by Britt Baker for the victory at about 3 minutes, 55 seconds. No, it was not at the 9 o'clock spot, ironically, but that's because all the other going. It actually was only 10 minutes before 9 o'clock.
It was a 3-minute match.
Also, there was a lot of other stuff going on in the show, so it made sense. Britt Baker did a sufficient job of pissing off all of Cleveland with her Pittsburghness. She came out with a terrible towel that was the size of a fucking blanket and wrapped herself in that shit. And to make it worse, the other Pittsburgh fans there bigging her up. That pissed me off. Post-match, she rips the rest of the challenges for her women's title, including Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel. As they come in, they try to... Hikaru Shida runs them off because Toni Storm comes down to the ring as she's called out by Britt Baker. She's jumped by Rebel and Hayter. Hikaru Shida runs out and makes the save. All your opponents for that women's title match, all involved in this segment. She also was on the pre-show. They had filmed some Dark before. She had a match on Dark where she took on Emi Sakura. And actually, I believe that was the main event match of Dark. I do believe. Is it the Dark or Elevation? I'm pretty sure it was Dark. She was the main event match of that. It was a pretty good match. And the match prior to that was Serena Deeb match. So I got to see a little bit of Serena Deeb when I first got there too. So that was pretty dope. AEW World Title match. Prior to this happening, there was a quick promo between Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. My bad, step on your foot there, buddy. They're down to get the Acclaim a world title match at All Out. After the Acclaim, they thanked him for making the save and said we didn't need your help, basically. And he said, we like what y'all been doing recently and we want to offer you the title shot, basically. All right, now back to the world title match. That went less than 3 minutes by 1 second. Very unexpected result. I've decided that I'm going to compare this, though it was 1/4 of the amount of time that match I'm about to refer related to was, but basically it was like when Brock Lesnar destroyed Cena at SummerSlam in 2014, and it was a one-sided squash match, but it went like 12 or 15 minutes. Consider that what this was in 3 minutes.
Okay.
That's how, but even though
Punk got hurt,
he sustained an injury in it.
They're compared with the Lesnar.
But now that we know that injury was work.
Yeah.
So that might just be part of the storyline, was give him to put the belts together on one person and make it a squash match. Sometimes squash matches happen in world title matches too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them, but if it makes sense, I understand.
Punk's AEW world title, Moxie's interim world title are being unified. They fight over a lockup to start out. Punk is taking it to the corner and Moxie hammers away. Punk is back up with some kicks, but then hurts his foot. He hurts the land foot, not the foot that he kicks Moxie in the head with, but the foot that he has planted. The doctors are called over before he can even do anything. Moxie hits him with a King Kong lariat. Leg cranking on the foot helps exacerbate the issues. Hammer and anvil elbows down, setting up 2 Death Riders. Moxie wins. After the match, Punk is helped to the back. Carried to the back, I should say. Interim title part is over now. And it leaves people talking, which is a good thing, no matter how they like the results of what happens. So we'll see what happens moving forward. Christian Cage cutting a promo rather serious and say, before I didn't accept, but now I accept Jungle Boy's challenge, because before I really just wanted to come together and come back together as a family, how we used to be. But that's too far. Things have gone too far, so now I've decided I'm going to accept the challenge at All Out. He said Jungle Boy isn't in his league, but the match is on. He said some shit about Cleveland too, but I forgot exactly what he said. Promo next by Ricky Starks. Says, all right, let's get down to business. I haven't been in the best of moods because, frankly, I'm hurt and I'm pissed off from dealing with Team Taz being over, to losing the FCW title, to dealing with QT in the factory, and, of course, Powerhouse Hobbs turns his back on me. I got veterans in the back saying, this is show business, it ain't friends business, Ricky, and I understand what you're saying, but I thought I was the exception. I had a friend in Hobbs, a partner in crime last year. I broke my neck. This guy called me every single week to check up on me and make sure I was okay, mentally and physically. But the thing about people wanting to see you do good is that they're only that's okay, but except they don't want to see you do better than them. Don't forget, Hobbs, when you were standing around in Jacksonville in a bedazzled t-shirt being Britt Baker's security guard, you were playing a background player, and then you met me and I showed you.
Security guard.
He said, being a Britt Baker security guard. in a bedazzled t-shirt.
Oh.
He said, then you met me and I showed you what it meant to have a seat at my table. If I ate, you ate, and I made sure the pot was big enough for the both of us. You got the nerve to sit up here and blame me, and I should have known that you decided to turn your back on me on the nightmare, that you should have turned your back on me also. And that's exactly what you did, but you ended up hitting me in my neck, man. And you know how close I was to losing it all before, and he starts to get choked up as he says that. He says, I called you my friend. I called you my friend, and now you know what? I called you a low-down, slime-ball, dirty, scheming snake. And where I come from, we cut the head off of snakes. And since you want to quote New Jack City so much, how about you bring your $5 ass to Chicago and we'll fight me it all out? Good promo.
Don't like the end part of it. Get the fuck New Jack. Got fist the whole New Jack though. Can't change it up. I get what he's saying.
Well, no, he's quoting the movie.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He should have said the make change part.
That's what
I
he
thought
should've
so.
said, yeah.
I thought so,
Bring
but
your $5 out to Chicago so I can make change. Something like that.
yeah.
I get it. I like the promo, personal promo. I like when they mention my neck. Like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, you know everything I went through. You went through my neck, man. My neck. Like,
Moxley has a promo. Next, he says, oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to be surprised right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that not how that was supposed to go? Best in the world, my ass. People out here surprised right now are the same people that wanted to read my obituary the moment Punk came back. The same people who wanted to call me the interim champion. They always write me off. They don't matter. They never did. The truth is the answer to every problem you might have in professional wrestling, the answer is Jon Moxley. There is only one that could do what I do like I do. I am professional wrestling. I am the guy, and I don't follow any rules. Everybody out there asks, when is it going to be my time coming? Oh, it's my time right now. God damn now. We're living in the moment of 2022. You're living in my time. My time is now. My time is now. My time is goddamn right now. Also look at Omega's return last week. Then we have our main event of the evening. 5-star match voted by Mr. Meltzer himself. Trio title tournament match. Death Triangle taking on Will Ospreay and Aussie Open. I'm doing my best here with the notes that I'm giving, but this is also one of those matches I say often, you really can't do it justice. You have to just kind of see it. There was also Fallout after with Omega and the Bus coming out, which on TV they only showed them quick, but I have the whole talking dispute between the two once the cameras have went off. Actually have it on that what we're going to upload next week. Actually, I'll save that for next week. I'll let you guys get that next week. A little bit of a teaser there. Don Calais came in on commentary. Didn't really say much. That was very important during the match. Also in the crowd were best friends who are also still in this tournament too. Phoenix and Ospreay trade flips to start before everything breaks down. Jet Triangle sends them over to the floor. Wisterio flip dives for the big knockdown. Back in, Pac chops away at Ospreay before Phoenix kicks him down for 2. They take a break, come back. Ospreay's hitting a sky twister on the Pac. And Penna following a running boot into the corner of the Phoenix. They settle down for a heck of a drop kick to Phoenix, but chops away as Aussie Olsen at the Aussies and hits a very springboard double wrist drag for a breather. Hot tag brings in Penna for a double high cross body, and everything breaks down from there as you take a break. Back from break, Pac comes in to clean house with Aussie Open and the Lucha Brothers come in for the brawl. Ospreay hit Pac. Ospreay and Pac hit Stereo on Poison Rana's to the teens, and it's time for a big stare down. They slug it out after the Oscutter drops Pac, followed by a hard shot to the face to do it again. Pac catches him on the top rope, and it's a big superplex for a double knockdown as we take another break. Back from that break, Ospreay back up, hitting a hurricane on Pac, but the Stormbreaker is countered into a hurricane that gives Pac another 2 count. Everything breaks down from here again. And Penna hits a step of Canadian Destroyer. Pac goes to the outside, stops it there. Whoever is in the box, the Kip Sabian box on the outside, and takes it off. So this is where he lost the match because he let himself get distracted. But it wrote itself into the storyline perfect. He takes the box off, and this is what I don't understand. If you're in the box, right, and you're in there against your will, why is your mouth taped over but your hands are free? Which means you could have fought off whoever the fuck did that, or just took the shit off. But they didn't add that part of the continuity there. Whatever. So he takes the box off the guy's head, and it's not Kip Sabian. All of a sudden, he gets stole on by Kip Sabian, who's back with new hair. I guess he's ready to come out and fight now. He basically jumps him from behind, throws him back in the ring. They give him like almost a super Os cutter, where basically Ossie opened the whole Pac up on both of their shoulders, like almost like a victory thing type of deal. And then Ospreay bounced off of the top rope, jumped up for the Os cutter all the way up there to get the victory and the pin. Actually did it on Phoenix to get the victory at about 25 minutes. So gave this match plenty of time. Omega and the Young Bucks come out for the stare down, but Catalyst holds off Omega to end the show. They do exchange words. We will just bring that up next week because I have video and audio from all. That was the end of Dynamite. Moving on to the next show of the week. Friday Night SmackDown. Over on SmackDown, did some good promoting. I thought it was a decent show. Coming from Detroit this week, recapping what happened last week with the fallout with Sami Zayn taking the bullet for Roman on the Claymore from Drew. Show opens with Ricochet versus Happy Corbin. I thought this match went a little longer than it should have, but hopefully this ends their feud, but I doubt it will. I have a fun it's going to continue after this, but we'll see where that goes. Anywho, Ricochet starts off fast and knocks him down before backflipping into a superhero pose. Back in, dropkick sets up a standing shooting star press for 2 on Corbin. The fast start continues as Ricochet loads up a springboard, only get knocked out of the air. Corbin pounds away a bit, but gets knocked down for another flipping dive as we take a break. Back from break, back in with Corbin hitting something like a World's Strongest Slam. Onto, though not through the announcer's table. The announcer table tonight was super strong, because I swear, 3 or 4 different times people got slammed on that sucker and it didn't break. A couple different times. Big ass cats, too. So I was kind of surprised by that. I guess everybody was taking the Charlotte L to the table tonight. Ricochet tries a handspring and his forearm right in the back down as the power keeps working for Corbin against Ricochet. A spinning DDT gets Ricochet out of trouble and it's time for him to kick away. Deep Six gives Corbin a 2 count, but Ricochet kicks him down again. Shooting star press finished the match for Rico at about a little over 12 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that match was too long.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it should have been 12 minutes.
12 minutes, probably 8 probably.
Right. Post-match, Corbin stays down in the corner as McAfee uses the telestrator like he's talking about a highlight in a football game. He points 2 arrows to his face and encircles it and it puts all his dots on his face. He says, look at his reflections of his anger he's had over the past couple weeks. Street Profits meet Hit Row, and there was an awesome spot in this. So when they met, right? He said, oh, we heard y'all want to smoke. Oh, we got the smoke. Okay.
That sure was.
He said, since we all, and they all put their hands in like this. And when they did it, it made me think like, black. And he was like, down for the money. I was like, okay, good pull. But I think you were talking about being black, though. It seemed like it, at least. It seemed, because they all put their hands in and started doing this shit. I'm like, that has to be what they're talking about. But all right, anyway. So basically, they all walk off together, and they end up going to, we thought was Hit Row's bus, but we find out whose bus it actually is when we get to that segment later. All throughout the night, also, they've been doing this thing where they've been basically recapping Drew McIntyre's history from when he was chosen one to leaving, coming back, to beating Brock Lesnar for his title.
Basically, you're getting the whole because you're from here video package.
Yeah. Killing time on the show to me. Because they did it twice. They didn't just do it once, they did it twice. You could have filled those spots with, combine both of those segments into somebody having a match. So I felt like that was a little unnecessary. Karrion Kross.
Could did that shit next week on the Go Home show.
Karrion Kross isn't impressed because Kross could put an elbow through McIntyre's head at any time. That's what he says. He's making his debut match next week. Actually, next week's Go Home is stacked. It is stacked. You have Karrion Kross is making his debut match. You have
I got this match. Some
special stipulation match between the New Day and the Viking. Well, it's not the Viking Raiders anymore.
Yeah, I know what you're talking.
You know what I'm talking about. They're having a special match between them. We'll get to why later on in this show. It's a stacked show next week. There's a lot of shit on there from what I saw already. Next match up, Women's Tag Title Tournament quarterfinals. Natalya and Sonya Deville taking on Shotzi and Xia Li. Actually, it's a 4-way.
The second chance flyweight match, the Toxic Attraction got pulled out.
Right. Natalya and Sonya Deville versus Shotzi and Xia Li versus Tamina and Dana Brooke versus Doudrop and Nikki Ash. Take a wild guess on who won this match before I continue. I'm asking. Take a wild match on who won this match before I continue.
Who are the participants again?
Natalya, Sonya Deville versus Shotzi, Xia Li.
No.
Versus Tamina, Dana Brooke.
Hell no.
Versus Doudrop, Nikki Ash.
Oh, yeah. Sonya Deville, Natalya. Easily, I was assuming.
You want to know something else? You ready? And we've been talking about this, and this has now happened. Now, the last time this happened, this might have been Vince's last show of Raw. It was either Vince's last show of Raw or Triple H's first. But do you remember a couple weeks ago where I talked about match lengths on Raw and how you had 4 different matches that combined and weren't the length of one match?
It was Vince. Because all the DQs and countouts, yeah.
Okay, we've had an instance of that with Triple H's. Now, I'm not saying combined. Yes, we have. And I can call it. And I'm going to call it out in a second. But this was one of those matches. I just said there were 8 competitors in this goddamn match. 4 tag teams, right? Match went 3 minutes. Match went 3 minutes. This is 1/4 to the finish. Last chance match. Toxic Attraction.
They should have made that elimination match.
They should have made it the main event and gave us some times, but they should have did. I digress. Tamina Super Kick.
What was the main event?
Sami Zayn versus McIntyre. That's partly why they kept showing those McIntyre recap things throughout the show to recap it because of what happened last week. You could have opened the show with that and put that Ricochet Happy Corbin shit anywhere. Nobody cares about that. And you gave it 12 minutes. That's my point. The fuck? Anyway.
He gets a pass, man. He been doing good with his shows. I'll give him a pass.
Tamina Super Kicks Natalya off the apron to start, and it hits a Samoan drop on Deville, with Doudrop having to make the save. Lee comes in for a suplex on Nikki into the ropes before dropping her on her throat onto the top rope. Everything breaks down for Nanda's parade of everyone getting knocked down with the big pile on the floor. Dana super kicks Nikki onto everyone while Nikki's leg lands really awkward, but she's okay. It seems like it, at least because they showed her later backstage arguing with Doudrop and she was standing on the same said leg. So I'm assuming she's not hurt. Why would you have her standing on the leg? Anyway. Sonya Deville immediately throws her back inside the ring and gets the pin. And I'm assuming that's because of the injury they said. You know, they try to play it up like it was an injury. But for me, they showed a segment of them arguing backstage, which I've liked that they've been doing that recently, where they'll have like a segment of somebody getting interviewed in the foreground, but in the background something else has been going on, like they've been doing the last couple of weeks with the appearances of Dexter Loomis backstage at Raw, like when he had put out the fire last week and shit like that. I like how they've been adding those little story pieces, so that's kind of interesting. A video of Shayna Baszler next. Next up, I like this segment. So the Brawling Brutes come out with Sheamus, and they have a face-to-face with Gunther in the ring. So Ludwig Kaiser's going on and on about Gunther and what he's going to do to Sheamus, this, that, and the third. And eventually, Sheamus tells him, basically he tells him to shut up and gives the mic to Sheamus.
I think she might be seriously injured.
Really?
Well, not seriously, but it's like people putting clips of everything like she was. They saying that segment with them was probably pre-recorded. So they got fan video. They said as soon as like she landed on her leg, they said Doudrop literally like ran down after the match, like picked her up and carried her like backstage out the arena.
Yeah, okay. Well, shout out to Nikki, man. I hope she's all right. Bring her back with a different character.
Yes, God, please, yeah. This.
All right, so
that's been like some injury plague shit. So first you got Zoe Stark, she can't make because she hurt. Then you got Gigi Dollar, who probably would have went to the final, but then she gets the concussion. Now Nikki Ash, that shit's hurt. Like, god damn.
Ludwig Kaiser's going off on the mic, as I was saying, before he's cut off by Sheamus. Sheamus says, no one can understand a damn thing you're saying anyway. He said, Sheamus' issue with Gunther is because Sheamus is the real ring general himself. Sheamus beating all kinds of stars around here and almost won everything there is to win. There's a lot of similarities between them then and now. And Sheamus won what Gunther has. Gunther says Sheamus is a man to be respected, but to protect the title, Gunther will teach him what violence really is. And then after this is the best part of it. So the whole time while they're having their little talk thing, soon as the instant they finish, Bush snaps and he jumps Ludwig Kaiser, right? Now when he jumps Ludwig Kaiser, the whole time, Rich Holland's over on this side, kind of just standing there watching, and eventually he goes over like, all right. Then they both kind of start jumping Ludwig Kaiser. The whole time this is going on, Gunther and Sheamus are just having a stare down. They're just... all this shit's happening over here. They do not stop staring at each other.
I like that.
The whole time.
That's gonna be low key, probably like match of the night between them.
I hope so. I think it will too. That's gonna be an awesome match. It's probably gonna be, I'm already my pick for probably match of the night. I'm calling it right now before we even get into the predictions and stuff like that. Anyway, by the way, are we doing predictions for that this week? Because that's on Saturday. We do our next show on Sunday, so we could do All Out next week.
We can do All Out. Well, since All Out's on Sunday, we can do All Out
next week and do Classic Castle this week. Okay, well then just pull up Classic Castle for me, because I still got to finish this and then finish Rampage.
I got you.
Okay, all right. So they just kept staring each other down the whole time. Eventually, they grab each other's boys. Like Ludwig Kaiser gets him to stop like this, and then he grabs Butch and hits him in a headlock, so he can't keep chasing after the other dude, and he continued to stare down between each other. But I thought it was awesome, and just with everything going on in the background. Sonya Deville and Natalya are interviewed backstage. They said they're ready for the semifinals match. Said as they're talking in the background, you see Nikki Ash and Doudrop are having a heated argument. So, like you said, you think that was pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the fallout from her leg injury from there. Once again, okay, here we go. They look at a recap of what happened last week with Sami Zayn taking the Claymore for Roman Reigns from Drew McIntyre. Sami Zayn's trying to get into the office to talk to Reigns. My favorite
part of SmackDown.
And as he does it, Jimmy's cool. Like, hey, what's up, Sammy? How you doing, bruh? But the whole time, Jay like, that way, cuz.
Yeah.
Hey, but Roman cuts him off like, hey, wait, hold on. That Sammy out there? Yeah, let Sammy come in. You good, cuz. Come on in, Sammy. And Sammy, Sammy's all like, I can come in? Oh, really? Like, oh. All right, hey. So they go in and they have a conversation and they talk about how they kind of have same thoughts about their perspective of how they look at like going into the matches or whatever, taking losses or something like that, like learning from them and stuff like that.
Said,
trying to kind of figure like a common ground.
I would have won the championship if I would have got hurt last week.
He said, but you lost.
But you lost.
And then he said, but hey, sometimes that happens, you know. You got to learn from those sometimes, right? So he kind of roll with it, you know what I'm saying? And you try to like, establish common ground with him. And he said,
I feel like you don't want to lose the Raw. I feel like you don't want to lose if you like rep.
He said,
Reigns, bro.
He said, Reigns needs another family right now. He says, what you did last week, you really helped me out. That's something family would do. He said, McIntyre needs to be distracted, which is cool with Zayn. And he said, you got that match of the night. And Zayn says, after this, and he suggests maybe making it a team effort. Reigns thinks that it's all about Sammy tonight, though. So, building his head up, you know what I'm saying?
It's the one part that you missed that was funny. He like, I'm gonna be so much in Drew's head. He said I'm gonna be taking up. He said I'm gonna be doing a little dance.
Yeah, he did.
And Roman was like, that's what you be doing, huh, bro? He got Roman and Jay.
He's taking space in his head. I'm gonna do a little dance.
Jay in the back, like they show the camera like he got him off the break. Like that's what you doing, huh? That little dance.
Yeah, when he did the dance, I was dying to be like, hell no. That dance was the best. Next up, women's tag title tournament semifinal. Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah.
We know who won that match.
The baddest bougie, right? Or what you say?
She calls up the badass bougie.
The badass bougie, okay. Versus Natalya, and I think you should win more to have that, but all right. Versus Natalya.
They won that far in the tournament. I know. I'm trying to throw her a bone here.
I see.
I'm trying. I mean, she beat Natalya in 13 seconds.
Here's an example. So you can shit on AEW for how you feel like or perceive that they treat their women's wrestlers. But both women's matches on here. A fucking 4-way between 4 different tag teams. That one passed. And then the winner of that one taking on another tag team. The combined length of both of those matches was not as long as your fucking opener between Ricochet and Happy Corbin. For an example. There were only 4 matches on the whole goddamn show. See my point? I hate when they do that.
They should have
Give
made the
people
tag
time. That's what I meant.
You should have made that tag
that.
match elimination match.
You
kill time. You could have made that like elimination.
And take away one of those fucking McIntyre segments that you didn't need. Like we don't already know that about him. What people forgot? Come on, man. You don't need to.
Match they had a couple weeks ago. That Shayna Baszler one was like almost 20 minutes. Like
I'm saying you don't need to rehash that about McIntyre. People know about McIntyre. You act like you've been gone for a month or been hurt.
Yeah.
Nigga been hurt all the time.
we know about Drew McIntyre. We know too much about Drew McIntyre.
Exactly.
They get Heath Slater references in that video. Heath Slater back there.
No, they didn't. It was all about him. My fault.
Okay, no,
it was all about him.
either.
Bailey, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai were on commentary.
They call it Dangerous Control or something. That's their name.
Okay. And Michael Cole looks on Crush.
Hi, Michael. Yeah, that's what I need. I just need y'all to make it like the band. He looks so depressed every time he sees him. He like, oh, she about to.
Anyway, Sonya gets knocked to the floor to start, and Aaliyah hits a meteor off the apron. Natalia Michinoku drivers Aaliyah onto the floor, and we take a break.
Oh.
Back from break, Natalia breaks up a corkscrew Vader bomb and kicking Rodriguez in the head. Rodriguez powers out of a choke, but Aaliyah has been knocked off the apron, so Rodriguez knocks both of them down instead. The running splashes in the corner, connecting, and there's a corkscrew Vader bomb to DeVille. That doesn't finish it though. Rodriguez takes Natalia out and gets nailed down by DeVille for a 2 count. A big kick misses though, and then you get a Tejana bomb to finish off DeVille for the victory at 8 minutes 13 seconds. So combined, 11 minutes and 26 seconds for both the women's matches, and the opening match was 12 minutes and 15 seconds. Might be the difference in 30 seconds, but you had 2 matches. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll let 30 seconds slide. It wasn't like, damn, like, it
Post
wasn't like that Raw, goddammit. Like that Raw, you had 4 matches.
Post match, Sky and Kai, not be confused with Kai and Ty, were staring down the winners, Aaliyah and Raquel Rodriguez. Maximum Male Models are having a photo shoot backstage.
Oh, you always get the Maximum Male Models thing.
But then they look over to a bus and hear the music playing. I swear they think it's Hit Row. I guess they hear him laughing. And it pisses them off because it's destroying their photo shoot. They can't concentrate on the photo shoot where they're basically all they do with this.
Oh, yeah.
That was the pose. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so Maxine says, you know, worry, I have an idea. And she walks off. I'll continue talking about this now. So because it spread off in 3 seconds. Once again, you did not need to spread that shit in 3 seconds. You could have did that shit in 1 or even 2 to give more time to other shit. I digress. So she goes off and then she comes back as they still are, the music is overtaking their concentration to do the photo shoot. She comes back with the Los Lotharios, whose idea is to spray paint the bus because they present some spray paint. So they go ahead and spray paint the bus and says Hit Row sucks in blue paint because it's an all-white bus. And there's like some lights on it that light up and shit like that. So then they show the last segment where they're still doing the male model shit. They're still there. They're the only ones left. The Los Lotharios left. So they're still there taking their pictures or whatever. All of a sudden, Hit Row comes off the bus. And they looking like, the fuck? What you mean Hit Row sucks? And they're kind of just laughing about it. Oh, this is y'all, huh? This is y'all? Guess what? It's in our bus. And they just walk off. He said, but if you really had beef, you could have handled it in the ring like we go do next week. So now it's going to be Hit Row versus Maximum Male Models next week. That's one of the matches that's also going to be in the next week. Yep, yeah, you're going to see them fight. So they walk off. All of a sudden, who comes out of the bus? The actual owners of the bus. The Street Profits who are pissed.
Oh, God.
So we'll see where that goes. They're going to get their hands on either Los Lotharios or Maximum Male Models soon, too, within probably next 2 weeks or so. So that's the end of those segments. New Day's out, and they're very somber. Not all happy, usually like they are. Xavier Woods in a wheelchair with a broken foot, leg propped up. They're more serious about how they have to face reality. The Viking Raiders were beating them up for week after week. He said, I had my damn wrist cracked by over 300-pound man landing on me with a Vader bomb from the top rope. My man damn near had his foot broken over here. He said they burned all of our, he said unicorn horns and he said booty-os, all their little merch and shit like that. As they're about to seem like they're about to say they're about to retire or say something along those lines, they're interrupted by the Viking Raiders. My man Ray Rowe, local Clevelander, came down was saying, you guys are pathetic. New Day, we gave you a proper send-off last week, and yet here you are sniveling like wounded animals. The one thing Vikings despise more than anything else is weakness, and that groveling makes them sick. So they get in the ring to threaten Woods, and Woods all of a sudden, as they corner Kofi because he's actually standing and Woods is in a chair. Woods all of a sudden stands up like I'm not as hurt as you think, and he lifts off the blanket and has 2 kendo sticks underneath there. Tosses one to Kofi and they beat them out the ring with kendo sticks. So New Day isn't done quite yet. Jey Uso yells at Sami Zayn to handle his business and never disrespect him in front of his family again because he was mad that I guess he was trying to talk shit to Roman Reigns about Jey last week because Jey always be on his ass. Just handle your business. They show the second half of the McIntyre video until we get the main event of the evening. Bro, I'll give you another reason why I'm mad as fuck at that Ricochet and Happy Corbin match. Not only did that match was more than the length of both of your women's matches combined.
It was on the main event.
It was the longest match in the goddamn card. The main event was only 10 minutes. It's ridiculous, bro. Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Zayn bails to the floor to start before McIntyre is on his way back in. McIntyre knocked to the outside, though. There's time to slug it out on the floor again. Back in again, and Zayn kicks the rope into McIntyre's leg, allowing him to hammer away. Zayn chokes away on the rope, but McIntyre is getting annoyed. McIntyre unloads in the corner, and there's a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker to put Zayn down again. Back up, Zayn manages a sunset bomb in the corner to send us a break. Back from break, with McIntyre snapping off an overhead belly-to-belly suplex before snapping off another overhead belly-to-belly suplex. There's a neck breaker to drop Zayn, but then here are the Usos for a distraction, allowing Zayn to grab the Blue Thunder Bomb for 2. McIntyre shrugs it off and hits a Claymore for the victory in 10 minutes and 26 seconds. After the match, the beatdown is on. Roman Reigns comes in. I guess he wouldn't say hit him with a Superman punch. Look like he jumped to punch him. It didn't really like a Superman punch fully. And the Usos there, they beat him down, full beat down. They slam him into the announce table. Announce table doesn't break. They pick him up, get to throw him into the barricade, beat the shit out of him in the barricade. Sami Zayn gets a haluva kick in there. They start beating the crap out of him with the steps, double teaming him with the steps, this, that, and the third. Throw him back in the ring, beat him down with the chair at that point. So they beat him down with the chair and he's laid down. Roman Reigns sits on the chair, reverse style, with the deal part, as Edge would call it, over McIntyre's neck as he's sitting there backward style in the chair, as the rest of the family, including Sammy in the middle, all raise their fists behind him.
I seen that picture after that too. His back beat the fuck up.
They beat the shit out of him.
It was like his whole back was red and shit. Like goddamn. And then that makes it even better when they reposted the picture. Roman Reigns tagged Sami Zayn in it. He tagged Sammy in. They're like, oh, okay, then he tagged. I'm like, okay, Sammy, you already get you starting to feel involved now, Sammy. Go ahead.
Alrighty. We have our last show of the week before we do our predictions and get out of here for the week. This is Rampage, baby. Saw this for, on Wednesday night. Also, while you're heading out, I put another one in the fridge. The first match to start off was a trio tag title tournament first round. House of Black versus the Dark Order. Brody King drives Ted into the corner to start, but has to power out of a headlock. King knocks him into the corner, so it's off to John Silver, who elbows Buddy Murphy in the face. Everyone comes in and the brawl breaks out as we take a break. Back with Alex Reynolds caught in the wrong corner, allowing Malachi Black to shoulder him down. Reynolds managed to slip out of the corner, though, and is back to 10 in for the comeback. Full Nelson has Black in trouble until Murphy makes a save. The Dark Order starts striking away at Murphy, but King is back in and gets clotheslined outside by 10. Black is back up and tears off 10's knee brace, setting up a knee bar, but look out, here comes Miro for the distraction, including a face plant to Murphy, and a right hand to King. That's enough to let Reynolds roll up Black for the victory. So the House of Black moves on. Give you a good face heel dynamic in every match, continue on even into the later rounds of this trio tournament. So that's interesting. This happened at about 9-minute mark of the match. Post-match, House of Black jumps Miro for interfering in the match until Sting and Darby come in and make the save. That's another trios match we could probably look forward to at All Out. Miro, Darby Allin, Sting versus House of Black. Sign me up. I'm down. Hook speaking words again on this next promo. Speaking of Lexi Nair, talking about, she basically asked him, what do you think about the challenge that was laid out by Money Matt and Cool Hand Ans of the Jericho Appreciation Society last week? Says, I don't care about that. And he walks off. Soon as he walks up out of pain, though, Money Matt and Cool Hand Ans come in and they say, oh, yeah, you don't care, huh? Yeah, the weight off your world, huh? How about take that weight off your shoulder from that title? And, of course, you know, Money Matt's there. Looks like a Coke dealer in his all leather Coke jacket. Next TNT title match. I did put this on my Facebook. It was a squash match, only went 1 minute, 28 seconds. So, I mean, it's probably not legal. But hey, it's me giving it back to you guys. I love you guys. TNT title match, Wardlow versus Ryan Nemeth. Nemeth comes out first and he starts dogging his hometown, saying the best thing he ever did was leave Cleveland, and says how all of you wish you could have did what I did. Fellow hometown boy, Wardlow, thank you, sir, comes in and cuts him off. Go ahead. They got some words about this.
Only good thing that he benefit from is being Dolph Ziggler's brother. That's it.
I know.
Like, stop it. Stop it, bro. No.
Fellow hometown boy.
You ain't Dolph Ziggler. You can't shit on our city if you ain't really done nothing relevant, okay?
I agree.
Sorry.
Fellow hometown boy Wardlow comes in, cuts him off, walking from backstage and ready to go. Chris Sabin, the ultimate charisma vacuum of the Motor City Machine Guns. His charisma vacuum is so strong, he dragged Alex Shelley into it.
Because Alex Shelley has charisma.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
On him like you give him one. It's just like we get with him. It's just like.
Charisma vacuum has entered the room. Charisma vacuum is at ringside. Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh are also with Charisma Vacuum and Jay Lethal. Nemeth wants them gone. Nemeth talks more trash until he gets headbutted. Big right hand knocks him down.
Awesome.
Sets up for 4 powerbomb symphonies to retain the title after 1 minute 28 seconds.
Can't follow them things.
Andrade family office is backstage, so they're not happy with Private Party. Private Party's like, hold on. The last couple weeks, we done both lost, bruh. So how you gonna come down on us for losing? He says, listen, in life, everything has consequences. And then he walked off.
Yeah, like that.
He said it very ominously. So then, you know, it just leaves Private Party like, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. From there, move on. Powerhouse Hobbs taking on Ashton Day. Another match I put on my Facebook from Dynamite. Because it was another squash match. Clothesline, mock Ricky Stark's pose. You know, the big-ass spine buster. All Ashton Day was done. That's about 1 minute and 3 seconds. Cut backstage, ready to show. So, they leaned way more into the Tony D'Angelo this week. You might as well say Nick Camarado was cosplaying as him. No longer is he wearing the velour suit. Now he actually has a leather jacket on. And the actual hat like Tony D would wear. Shit. They cut back to the back where the factory's beating up. Ricky Starks must have Hobbs approval. And he said, yeah, we are a man of our word. And to prove it, this one's on us. QT puts his watch on his hand, slugs Ricky Starks, and they drop him and they walk off. Not sure why the factor's really included into the storyline right now.
Why do I have a feeling I think this is the way it's going to play out? They're beefing right now. I got a feeling it's one of those situations where friends just beef and get back together. I have a feeling he's going to get tired of being a fucking Ricky Starks going in here like, hold on, man. Like, I know I don't like him, but man, y'all can't be doing my boy like that. Like, that's my boy. Feel like you kick his ass with me, okay? Like, I don't know.
Next up, Jade Cargill is cutting a promo where she starts to call out Athena, then she gets cut off by Layla Gray, talking about what she's gonna do to Athena.
Boy.
And she said, whoa, hold on, as a matter of fact, what the hell have you done for me? As a matter of fact, it's time for you to take this trash out. I'm done. So they finally kicked her out the group now. Kiera Hogan takes her off to the side. Jade starts to return to her promo of calling out Athena. She even kicks an interview Lexi Nair out of there. So I can do this myself. I don't need you neither. Says Athena, September 4th, all out. Before she can finish the words, Athena puts a forearm on her mouth before they're broken up by security.
Dang, hate Layla Gray.
Also, they show a video after the main
She gonna
event.
line herself with Dana Brooke.
They also show a video after the main event where they show not the main event, excuse me, after the world title match from Dynamite, where they show Punk backstage talking to the doctor. This is the first time I didn't feel anything when it broke, and this time I did. We already know the development of that is he's selling it for kayfabe. They will have a rematch this match September 4th at All Out. And I have a feeling the way they're doing this, Punk may be turning full heel and somehow is going to cheat to win this match, especially if he's selling that foot. Now, what's the reasoning behind all of this? I'm not exactly sure, but if he's not actually hurt, let's see where this goes. But I have a feeling a lot of people have for a long time that he may be turning heel. So, next match, mixed tag team match, Ruby Soho and Ortiz taking on Ty Mello and Sammy Guevara. Mello and Soho fight over control to start, with Mello taking her down to crank on the wrist. Back up, Soho drives her shoulder to the corner as Excalibur runs down the all-out card. Mello gets knocked to the corner, so it's off to Ortiz for the run-in to Sammy. After a ninja pose, Ortiz gets sent to the corner, allowing Sammy to hit a running knee. A kiss from Mello sends us to the break to come back with Soho, kicking Mello in the corner. Sammy offers a distraction to Ruby Soho as she poison Ronda's him, allowing Mello to score with a high cross body for 2. Everything breaks down as Ortiz DDTs Sammy, but has to block Mello's tornado DDT. No Future drops Mello, but as Sammy makes the save, Angelo Parker pops up for the distraction, allowing Anna Jay to run in and send Ruby Soho into the steps. That's enough for Sammy to hit a springboard cutter for the pin and victory at about 9 minutes and 40 seconds. He gave us some decent time. Look back at the match. Unified the world titles once again, and I said let's play that video of what happened with Punk backstage. Next up, your main event of the evening. Dustin Rhodes said he's ready to give you everything he has and finally get a chance of winning a world title for the first time in his career. And Claudio Castagnoli said he basically respects him for that. And it looks like it's time for the main event. Main event match, Claudio Castagnoli taking on Dustin Rhodes for the Ring of Honor World title. Castagnoli comes out with Wheeler Yuta, Caprice Coleman on commentary, along with William Regal replacing Chris Jericho. They still have a beef. They had to stare down before Jericho decided to walk off, and Regal took his spot on commentary. I like that it continued continuity there. Arn Anderson and Brock Anderson were walking Dustin Rhodes to the ring, being his coach now instead of his brother, since his brother's no longer in the company. Filling out process starts with Dustin grabbing arm drags for 2, which was him holding up 2 fingers at Castagnoli. A headlock doesn't work for Castagnoli, so he powers Dustin outside for consultation with Arn. Back in, Castagnoli sends Dustin arm first into the corner before ducking a charge, sending Dustin to the outside to go to break. Back and break, Dustin's fighting off a crossface into a side slam. A clothesline sends Castagnoli to the outside for a change. And then there's a flip dive off the apron, back in the middle rope. Hurricanrana sets up the code red for 2 on Castagnoli. One heck of a clothesline, gives Castagnoli 2 more. And then there's a giant swing for a near fall. A crossface on again, but Dustin escapes again. Hits a power slam and a power driver. Doesn't quite work as he kind of drops Castagnoli on his side, making it more like a power bomb for 2. Castagnoli's back up and tries for a leapfrog, but with Dustin's head hitting him in the nuts for a low blow, like he couldn't fully springboard over him, aka a la Conan versus Eddie Guerrero back at Uncensored 1996. He doesn't keep Castagnoli down for long. He hits the pop-up uppercut to retain the title at 12 minutes 28 seconds to end Rampage for the week. Let's get into predictions. We can get out of here, man.
Oh, okay. This is the card right now. It's probably gonna be more matches. It kicks off at noon. Wait, hold on. It's streamed live in the U.S. and on WWE Network areas at 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So
Okay.
one early at pay-per-view. So
I gotta go on this side, take over the board.
go ahead. So no particular order. The undisputed WWE Championship match: Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Put Roman Reigns held this belt for.
They're celebrating on SmackDown next week, 2 years. I'm champion.
So I'm gonna answer the question. 2 years. I mean, the man still haven't taken the pinfall off in like ever since he was champion.
We did when we did our end of the year list. It was what, like over 511 days since he took a pinfall off.
Yeah.
So that streak still continues. Continues.
So I don't know, this should be a good one right here. I still think they need to fucking take one of these belts off.
I feel like as good as Raw has been, I feel like Raw is lacking just because Raw don't have a champion. On there.
I agree.
Like I feel like Raw, like Raw is putting on some bomb match. I feel like you put a champion on Raw, they show to be that much better.
I agree.
Yeah, this one is going to be, I think
Drew McIntyre got a lot to overcome. He still got beef with Karrion Kross. I just don't know who. Do I see Roman beating Kross? Do they have Kross go over on Roman? I don't know. Like,
this one's going to be tough.
I'm gonna stick with Roman. Don't Roman. I think Roman retains. I mean,
that was my choice off top. You know why? It's in the main words you've already said. If they were splitting the titles, I'd say Drew has a chance of winning this. Put a champion back on Raw. They're not splitting those titles up. Hence,
no time soon.
He's retaining.
I think he win this one.
They talking about
They was talking about
Reigns lose, probably Kross, but Kross just takes one of the titles, or Theory probably cash in this Money in the Bank and win one of the titles.
SmackDown Women's Championship. Shayna
Baszler. I call her Shane Baszler. Shayna Baszler versus Liv Morgan.
I'm hoping Shayna Baszler.
My heart, you know I'm a diehard Shayna Baszler fan. Loved her on NXT.
My heart is saying Shayna Baszler.
I want Shayna to win because I want you to set up this Shayna Ronda thing.
But I got fun.
Liv is going to squeak out a win here. And then her and Ronda's going to go one more time. And I think Ronda's going to take it off. I want Baszler to win.
I'm picking
Liv, though. But I will be happy if Shayna win.
I want Shayna to win. I want her and Ronda to battle it out through the end of the year. Where by whatever pay-per-views at the end of December, Ronda walks away with that title. Going into, if they're going to do that day one shit again, I guess, going into day one or whatever. But you got to start setting up her and Becky around Royal Rumble. So by Rumble, she should have that belt back to set up that match. Becky should also be back from injury around that time, too.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna be a tough one. I'm going Liv, but
I will be, but I won't be upset if I'm wrong on this. Like I said, I'm a diehard for Shayna Baszler.
Right. Love her working the ring. The Intercontinental Championship match. Gunter versus Sheamus.
I think we both agree it's gonna underrated be the match of the night, right?
Yes.
It's gonna be a fucking physical.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm picking Gunther. I don't think they're taking the title off him yet. The loss isn't gonna hurt Sheamus, but I expect this match to be brutally physical.
Yeah, I think Gunter's gonna win too.
I mean, I think Sheamus is at the point now where like they don't need to put no more titles on Sheamus. Like, so I also think Butch does something to cost him this match.
Yeah, being overzealous or something like that. I can see that.
Next, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and Asuka versus Bayley, Dakota Kai,
and
Io Sky.
I hope Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky win to help build up their group. Neither one of those women in the other group need that.
I kind of agree that they should win this match too. I think that
I also feel like
that first tag match. I feel like they
should win those titles on Raw too. I don't think that I don't believe Aaliyah. Like, we know there's a one person holding up that whole damn tag team. So you can't tell me putting a title on her is all of a sudden gonna make her believable. Put it on who we all think is gonna win that match and build up some new stars. What I do like about that match is regardless of the outcome of that tag match between women on Raw, you're gonna get new stars built up no matter what. So that's cool. But they need to build this crew up more. You've debuted, lost to hurt anybody there on the face side, especially not the champion because they're better on the line. Give me Bayley.
I think they do something with.
In terms of them winning tag team titles, I honestly think you should do this shit in some way to where I think they're gonna bring back Naomi and Sasha Banks, and I will make this shit like a triple threat, and then I will have Sasha and Naomi get the belt back, but they don't take the pin, put it on. Aaliyah takes the pin, unfortunately, because she's gonna be the one that's gonna take that pin.
So you're saying have the women tag match? See, this is what I'm thinking because I forgot about the 6-way between them, and that's why this match is on Raw. But I was thinking, like, why didn't they put that match on the pay-per-view?
Oh, the
And then it would have been better if they came back and then made it a 3-way women's tag.
Yeah.
That'd have been interesting.
But I think they still like not sure of the status of Sasha yet. Like they advertising for them to come back, but the question is when. It's gonna be something involving them tag titles. Like, do the winner of this match gets them for the tag titles?
That's why I feel like I think they might.
I don't know. We'll see
how it gets booked out. But yeah, I want Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai.
I feel like they should win the first 2 threads of the tag team.
So I'm gonna pick them to win. I mean, I think Alexa Bliss will probably take
The pin in this one, or probably Oscar. Belair's gonna look strong in this, no matter how they do it.
And then we got Riddle versus Seth freaking
Rollins.
Seth Rollins on. I mean, the loss wouldn't hurt him. If I just
That man
choose-
lost good.
on paper, I would probably choose Rollins, but I don't know. I think Riddle needs one right now.
I'm gonna pick Riddle.
And I'm gonna pick Riddle because of the simple fact that like
I'll pick Rollins though, so we don't have the same
just
pick.
all of the whole. Like, I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Riddle to win.
I'll take Rollins then.
And,
That way we ain't got the same picks on everything.
yeah, I think we're different on the SmackDown match too. I think I'm picking Liv.
Okay, so we're different on 2.
You know, I want Shayna to win, but I just don't see them giving her the title. It's Triple H's girl now. Triple H put his work in here, so
I can see her finally. This
Yeah, I
her
can see her
shot.
finally winning it.
If not now, when is my question.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with Shayna.
Shayna win. I just think Triple H is smart enough to do the Ronda thing, like to push the Ronda thing. And they said Ronda had been training with her, so she can say, "I helped you out" and blah blah blah. Only thing is, you got to convince me to turn Shayna Baszler face.
Yeah, I think she will be the face of that situation. I don't know how you do
It's
that.
hard. She's just so vicious. It's hard to turn her face. Like,
I don't know. That is the card for now.
And that is the show for now, too. Until next week, brother.
and this week,
It's been a long one, almost 3 hours on this one, man. With that being said, though, I'm one half of your host. I'm Rob.
Playing.
About to take off and have Ron send us home.